Glad to be back with Cowboys Nation once again. Again, had a couple of delays. Y'all excuse me. I mean, one day this might be my only thing I do. I gotta take care of business other places too. But again, we back at it today. And we got 3 topics we're going to talk about, so it's not going to be a long show today. I mean, to be honest, there's not a lot of news out there right now, Cowboys fans. Not a lot of news. Maybe some will break while we're live today. But today, our topics are going to be pretty simple. We're going to finish the Calvin Watkins interview. And I'm going to go back on something that Calvin Watkins said because I didn't catch something he said about the Zach Martin interview. So we're going to go back, circle the block on the Zach Martin thing. Then we're going to hear the rest of what Calvin Watkins had to say. We're also going to look at a trade rumor that's out there. And there are many trade rumors out there about the Cowboys. And I mean, these are seriously, everything out there about the Cowboys right now is rumor. The Cowboys, the way they're moving, they're just not telling a lot of people what they're doing. They're just not telling a lot of people. And so because they're not telling a lot of people and they're not doing a lot of talking, there's a lot of speculation. So we'll talk about one trade rumor, and then I'm going to give my opinion on where I am with the Cowboys as it applies to trade rumors. And then we're going to end with one Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup has signed with the Washington Commanders, and I think it's very interesting what Michael Gallup had to say. And I'm actually blown away that the Commanders signed him. I'm blown away. But again, welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video or you like this live stream, please don't forget as you come in to like. And if you haven't, please subscribe. And if you haven't, become a channel member. Support the channel, help push us out into the YouTube algorithm. And we got a lot of great things coming in the future. Now, let's talk facts. Man, I'm going to take you guys back into this Calvin Watkins interview. But before I do, let me get the quick roll call. And then we're going to jump right back into it. But I'm going to show you something in this Calvin Watkins interview that I thought was very powerful after I went back and listened to it. All right, let's get a quick roll call, and then I'm going to get right to the story. Jamison Taylor, what is going on with you? I hope everything is all good. Yes, sir. Hope all is good. Miss Matrix, what's going on with you? D-Hawks, what's up? Hey, D-Hawks. Man, I got to come back to this statement you made right here after the roll call. D-Hawks in here, what's up? We like our guys. What's up, man? Appreciate you up in here. Look forward to more knowledge, man. You be bringing some knowledge up in these comments. I appreciate you. Skeptical fan, what's going on? Skeptical fan, I'm with you on that part too. I think he's going to get signed eventually. I just think there's just... I'll talk about that in just a moment about believing he's going to get signed. I do too. TME Greatness, what's going on? TME Greatness said, I just say trade him at this point. He's more of a distraction. Man, the Dallas Cowboys fan base would go crazy if the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons, and the media would love it because they would compare it to one Luka Doncic. Get right to get love. What's up? He said, shout out to the South Dallas Sioux Sale. Yes, sir. What's going on with you? Good to see you. Young Star, what's up? Leandrew, what's up? Dak Owens Filthy in the crib. What's up with you? Cowboy Thanos. Yes, sir. What's up? Gregory Davis. Luis Ortiz. Not worried about Micah. Me neither. They're going to sign him. Hallelujah. What's up? C-Base. Dominique Pittman. What's up? Fly Guy. What's up, my guy? Katharina. What's up? Keith in the crib. My man Alex in the crib. Marcus Warner. What's up? D-Webb. Ice Cold Cowboy. What's up with you? Appreciate y'all coming in early. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I think this story with Micah Parsons is really, I think it's really telling. And the reason why I think it's telling is because I said before, If anyone thinks that DeMarcus Lawrence and Malik Hooker are the only ones that's got an issue with some of the things that Micah Parsons does off the field, maybe you're not paying attention. I had to go back, and I got a video out right now about, did you hear what Zach Martin said about Micah Parsons? Some of you may have already watched it. Now, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to go back live, and I'm going to show you exactly what Calvin Watkins is talking about. And when you listen to it, it's even more insane than what Calvin Watkins is saying. And I'm going to let you hear something that Calvin Watkins, I believe, did out of fear. I think he did it out of fear, but I'm going to let you hear that too. But I want to go back to something that D-Hawk said. He said he thinks the Cowboys are battling with themselves on whether or not to sign him long-term because of his off-the-field personality, his podcast, and selfishness as a player and as a leader. Now, let me tell you why I think this is a great statement by D-Hawks. Where do you think Michael Irvin was hearing the issues about teammates having problems with Micah Parsons? Where do we think he's hearing that from? That chatter has to be coming from inside the building. That chatter has to be coming from inside the building. And he didn't want it to be, it's true. He didn't want it to be true, but it's true. And if we are just hearing some of this stuff, we don't think the Joneses know this stuff? The front office knows this stuff. Everyone on the team is well aware of this stuff. I'm sure they're all well aware of how some of the teammates may feel about Micah Parsons. And so I like what they're doing. I'm not going to be like a lot of people on social media. I want the Cowboys, do I want Brian Schottenheimer to get a hold of this? Yes, but I don't want him to tell me. He doesn't have to come out to me, to social media, and tell the media, yeah, I've talked to Micah Parsons. I don't need to hear any of that. I hope his teammates, they go to him and they tell him. I hope they start telling him more and more. No, this is not about the media, Michael. Let me tell you where we are. I hope the team addresses this with Micah Parsons, and I don't have to hear it. I don't. I want them to build the team, because everything that goes on outside of the building, it matters, but it don't matter. It matters, but it don't matter. What they're going to have to do better going forward, and Micah Parsons has got to get on board with this. They got to keep more things in the building, because this is one of the things that Drew Pearson talked about. This is one of the things that Michael Irvin talked about. They're both on the same page in this. They got to keep things in the building. And don't just cover up things in the building. Address things in the building. Fix things in the building. And you don't have to come out to us talking about, yeah, I had a talk last night with Dak Prescott. I had a talk last night. No, you don't have to do that, because that is what betrays the trust of the team. No, you don't have to tell anybody anything. Teams work things out in the locker room. They work it out like men. And that's what they all need to do. Just work this stuff out like men. Because tell me you're a distraction without telling me you're a distraction. Everyone's distracted. Everyone's distracted. Even the folk who arguing about there is no distraction. No, you're validating, though, there actually is a distraction. Because if it wasn't a distraction, we wouldn't be talking or debating on whether or not it's a distraction. Tell me it's a distraction without telling me it's a distraction. We're distracted. And some people say, well, people all just put their head down and play. You know what? Yeah, some people can do that. But understand something about professional sports. It's as much a mental game, and even more a mental game the older you get. The younger you are, the less mental game it is. You're just going off sheer ability. The older you get, the more of a mental game it becomes. And none of these players are getting younger. Yeah, the team is getting younger. But again, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, they're going to find themselves on the other side of this in another couple of years. You literally become the older player. Father Time is undefeated. You're going to become the older player eventually. So somewhere you got to mature sooner than later. You have to mature sooner than later so that you can really be a force. And where you want to be a force on this team is you got to be someone that the team feels like they can trust. And I'm just telling y'all right now, because I'm just telling you, if I was in the locker room, I would not trust Micah Parsons. Not because he's a bad person. I would not trust a person calling the owner his guy, his uncle, defending him when we all know that he's made so many bad moves in the past. Now, are we going to wait and see? Yeah, we're going to wait and see. We're going to see what he's going to do. I got full assurance in the Cowboys. They've done some things in this offseason that I thought they were going to do. I was already saying the Cowboys were going to be active. I knew this. I said it, not because I'm a psychic. But I think that it finally clicked with them that, we've been doing some things wrong because, Philadelphia is out here doing a lot of things right. 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, both of our NFC rivals in the NFC Championship with 2 of our former coaches. Hold on a second. We're not doing some things right. I think they realize that. And they've been hearing the cry, and some people think they're so privileged that they're hearing the individual cry. They're not hearing individual cries, but I do think they are hearing the cry of the fan base saying, we want something different. We want to be winners. Well, they're doing something different. Problem is you can't please everybody. So the Cowboys are doing it exactly the way you should do it. Do it different, and don't do a lot of talking. Don't do a lot of talking. Just do it different. And you keep working and working and fishing and working and seeing what can you do to get within what you want with the budget that you have set aside. I think the Cowboys are doing a good job with that, and they need to keep on doing that. And everything they're doing, they need to keep working it out in the building. And I do believe that Micah Parsons is going to be signed. People, he's going to be, I don't think they're going to trade him. I wouldn't doubt that there's been a discussion. There has to be a discussion with any player before you sign them to an extension. But I'm sure the Cowboys are going to sign Micah Parsons. But I believe that there may be some discussions going on with Micah Parsons about some of the things that Calvin Watkins is talking about. Because if Calvin Watkins is talking this stuff, well, who is more attuned than Jerry, Steven, and the people in the building? But again, I'm going to let you hear what Calvin Watkins brought up. Calvin Watkins brings up something to me that is bombshell information. And I'm just surprised that more people are not talking about this interview and what he wrote in the Dallas Morning News. This is bombshell stuff. But again, let me tell you what's going on with Micah Parsons from the media and the fan base perspective. And I'm talking about the Dallas media. There are many in the media, content creators, media, fan base. They're not like me. Let me tell you about me. I'm ecstatic about what the Cowboys have done. What they've done in free agency. Oh, I'm ecstatic. This is very uncharacteristic of the Cowboys. And they're still working. I'm excited. I have no complaints about what they're doing. And I'm not, you know what? And some people were saying the Cowboys should go get Keenan Allen. And I understand the push for all that stuff. I don't want the Cowboys to push for Keenan Allen. I don't want the Cowboys to sign Keenan Allen. I don't want the Cowboys to sign Amari Cooper. I'm glad the Cowboys didn't sign Cooper Kupp. To be honest with you, there are very few wide receivers that the Cowboys could have signed in free agency. And don't get me wrong, had they signed any of those guys, I would have been happy. But there are none of those guys for me has me more excited than the draft. There is only one of those receivers that would have made me say, Cowboys, you don't have to worry about going to the draft no more. You can just go in the draft and you can pick up a defensive tackle. You can go get a cornerback. You can get the running back in the second round, get a defensive tackle in the first round, or edge rush in the first round, defensive tackle in the third round. DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is the only one of those, any of these wide receivers that's been talked about for the Cowboys. He's the only one that would have moved the needle for me because he's so young. He hasn't even peaked. DK Metcalf hasn't even peaked. If the Cowboys would have got DK Metcalf, I'd have been like, boom, hey, no, you don't have to worry about a wide receiver in the draft. It's DK Metcalf and CeeDee Lamb for 3 years if they would have got him. It would have been the equivalent of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And you know what? It might have been greater than that. If the Cowboys would have got DK Metcalf, they would have literally had the best wide receiver duo in football. It's the only one to me out of everything they could have done that would have been the best duo in football. But as far as everything they've done, I like it. Now, let me say this. Let me say why I'm saying this. Because there are many who are not happy with what the Cowboys did in free agency, or they're not satisfied with what the Cowboys did in free agency. And so since the Cowboys haven't done what they want the Cowboys to do in free agency, one of the ways they want to be appeased is the Micah Parsons signing. That's one of the ways the fan base wants to be appeased, is the Micah Parsons signing. Now understand this, the Cowboys don't really have to re-sign Micah Parsons. He's already on a 5th-year option. Cowboys don't have to re-sign him. He's already signed. And they don't have to extend him. But where I'm perturbed about them extending Micah Parsons is not so that we don't lose him. Where I'm perturbed with them not signing Micah Parsons is it's going to cost them additional money. And I'm just telling y'all, I have been saying this and I've been consistent from the beginning. Micah Parsons said, I do not have to be the highest paid player. We're about to see. We're about to see. Because when you say you don't have to be the highest paid player, to me, that's semantics. Because I'd already told you where Nick Bosa was. Well, since that time, we've had Garrett and we've had Crosby. So where is Micah Parsons going to, where is he going to be? Where is he going to be as it applies to edge rushers? And we're about to see, is Micah Parsons going to stick to what he said? Is he going to stick to what he said and he don't have to be the highest paid player in his position? Is he going to stick to that? Man, I'm telling you, we are about to see. And we got people already, they're giving him an out. They're giving him an out because they're saying, well, you know, the Cowboys, you know, they could have signed him early, or they let Max Crosby get signed, and then they let Myles Garrett get signed. And I don't know, it's looking like somebody else got signed. I didn't even hear about this. Okay, I don't remember Daniel Hunter's name being up here. But all of a sudden, Daniel Hunter's name is up here. Daniel Hunter has entered into the mix. Daniel Hunter is the second highest paid. I know he wasn't there before, unless my eyes are playing tricks on me. His name wasn't up there. Daniel Hunter now, maybe some kind of extension. Average per year, $35 million. Max Crosby averaged $35 million. Myles Garrett averaged $35 million. And I'm telling you, Myles Garrett signed a monster contract, $88 million fully guaranteed, which put him in the category with one Nick Bosa. So, according to Micah Parsons, he doesn't have to get the $40 million. According to him, you don't have to get the $40 million. According to him, he would be fine in this range, I guess, where Nick Bosa, Max Crosby, and Daniel Hunter are. We're about to see. I've already told y'all before, if I'm Micah Parsons, this number right here and this number right here means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing to me. If I was Micah Parsons, this is the only place I'd be focused, fully guaranteed money. And if it was me, I would do exactly what one Josh Allen did. Josh Allen rolled up in here acting like he left $5 million per year on the table. Bro, you didn't leave $5 million a year on the table because it's not in the contract. No. You went and got the highest paid, fully guaranteed contract in NFL history. If I'm Micah Parsons, that's where I'm focusing. Okay, Dallas, tell you what I do. Just give me a cool $120 million guaranteed. I don't care what you do with this number on the front. You can make that look any kind of way you want to. Just give me $120 million guaranteed. I'm done. I told y'all I keep my man simple. I don't need algebra. I don't need calculus. I don't need all that old crazy stuff. Hey, man, just keep my man very simple. All I'm focused on is guaranteed money. If I was Micah Parsons, only thing I'm focused on. And so some people, they want to be appeased by Micah Parsons getting signed. But the Cowboys don't have to really sign Micah Parsons because it doesn't do anything for them except save them money on his contract per se. But maybe it doesn't save him money because if he said he doesn't have to be the highest paid, what's the rush? Y'all tell me, what's the rush? If Micah Parsons said he don't have to be the highest paid player at his position, again, tell me what's the rush? I would consider that he doesn't have to get $40 million average per year. What's the rush? For me, the only reason I want them to sign Micah Parsons, there's two actually. One, go ahead and sign Micah Parsons if it's going to continue to cost you money. Because if the Cincinnati Bengals mess around and sign Trey Hendrickson to another deal, which I'm going to find it hard to believe they signed Trey Hendrickson to a bigger deal than Myles Garrett, Daniel Hunter, Max Crosby, Nick Bosa, with them now extending one Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I'm going to find that hard to believe, but if they do, I just don't want the Cowboys to keep wasting money. Because if you can save $5 million on Micah Parsons' contract, well, that's $5 million you can dedicate to a free agent, dedicate to a trade deadline player. So many different things you could do with that money. I just don't want to waste that money. Number two, I would prefer them to go ahead and sign Micah Parsons so we can stop all the drama. But again, I think there may be some discussions going on with Micah Parsons. People got excited talking about Jerry Jones called Micah Parsons in. For what? What did he call him in for? I think it may be more than contract stuff. I think it may be some of the stuff that we're going to finish up here with tonight. Got a couple of super chats here. Appreciate the Kitty boy. Yes, sir. My man Johnny Blue. What's up, Johnny Blue? Johnny Blue said, hey, Micah Parsons is a great player, not a leader of men. That's it. He's only 25 years old. We can hope he can mature with time. I think Shotty will nip it in the bud. You see, even Stephen Jones has changed. DC4L, yes, sir. Yeah. And Johnny Blue, thank you for saying the same thing I've been saying. People got to stop thinking just because you're pointing out an issue that you're dissing Micah Parsons and saying he's not good. Who's saying he's not good? Who's saying they don't want him? Who's saying he's not great? No, we're talking. See, and the reason why you have to talk about this stuff is because he keeps self-proclaiming himself a leader. And we may not be realizing it, but the team is saying he's not a leader. They're saying he's not a leader. That's what they're saying. Is he a great player? Yes, but he's not a leader. He's trying to be self-proclaimed. And so, two things can be true. And so watch this. I'm going to go back now as we get to Calvin Watkins again. I want you to hear something that Calvin Watkins said that blew my mind when I went back and listened to it on the replay. Watch this. This is mind-boggling to me that he says this. Okay, I'm going to pick up Calvin Watkins as he's talking about spring training, right? But I want you to hear something he says about the thing as he starts to talk about Zach Martin, because this is the PowerPoint to me. The things that he is saying about Zach Martin is the PowerPoint. Watch this part.
I'll bomb my guys then, and that's where I'll show my leadership. Others will say leadership starts when the captain's workouts start in the spring. And Zach Martin, who recently retired, mentioned that. One of the things I didn't mention in the story that we wrote was when Zach Martin, who's probably going to the Hall of Fame, one of the most decorated offensive linemen in the history of the Cowboys, didn't mention Micah Parsons in his speech. You know, Micah Parsons was not there. Offensive lineman in the history of the Cowboys, mentioned in the story that we wrote was
now watch
Zach
this.
Martin.
This is the part I want you to listen to. Listen very carefully. Watch this.
Start in the spring. And Zach Martin, who recently retired, mentioned that. One of the things I didn't mention in the story that we wrote was.
Did you catch what he said? He said we didn't mention it in the story we wrote. Why not? Why not mention this part? Of everything I heard in this interview, it's the Zach Martin part that stands out like a sore thumb. Now, what Calvin Watkins says is one thing. Wait until I let you hear it. It sounds even more bizarre. Even more bizarre. But did you catch it? Why didn't he put it in the story? I think Calvin Watkins knew this story was kind of a little bit heated. And he didn't want to catch the flack for putting this in the story. But this part of the story to me is what offers the validation of how some of the players think about Micah Parsons. In particular, Zach Martin. Let me let you finish. I'm going to finish the statement. Then I'm going to let you hear Zach Martin.
When Zach Martin, who's probably going to the Hall of Fame, one of the most decorated offensive linemen in the history of the Cowboys, didn't mention Micah Parsons in his speech. You know, Micah Parsons was not there. You know, a lot of players.
I mentioned this yesterday. So you're a leader on the team. The same Zach Martin who you said, the guys who you feel sorry for is guys like Zach Martin. But then when he has his retirement, you don't show up? I'm just telling you. Perception is reality.
Players were there, including DeMarcus Lawrence.
The same player that's taking all the flack, DeMarcus Lawrence. He's there. Full well knowing that he's probably not going to return for the Cowboys. Let me tell y'all something about DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm not sure DeMarcus Lawrence wanted to return to the Cowboys, and I think that's one of the very reasons why he didn't play hurt for him this year. Michael, I believe that he could have played. He just didn't play. I think what got him really in his feelings, the fact the Cowboys didn't give him the opportunity to turn them down. The Cowboys didn't give him the opportunity to turn them down because the Cowboys already knew he was out of the price range. So the Cowboys didn't even bother to offer him. And I don't even know if the Cowboys wanted him back. But whatever the case may be, they didn't offer him. I don't think he was in his feelings because the Cowboys didn't re-sign him. I think he was in his feelings because the Cowboys didn't offer him. I think that's why he was in his feelings. And again, I don't think the statement of I was not going to win a Super Bowl there was a shot at the team. I think that was a shot at Jerry Jones. I think that was a shot at Jerry Jones. I wouldn't have done it, but I think that was a shot at Jerry Jones. Because now we even got Kavarius Ward. Are we going to criticize Kavarius Ward? He said that he was when he was with Dallas. Man, forgive me. I didn't even realize he had been with Dallas. If I'm not mistaken, Kavarius Ward was saying that he was with Dallas and he was up in here he said he was up in here like strapping people down. He said they wound up trading him. Well, look at him now. I don't think the DeMarcus Lawrence thing was a shot at the team. It became a shot when Micah Parsons gets offended by what DeMarcus Lawrence said, which even if you're offended, did anyone notice what Dak Prescott did? Anybody notice? I mean, as far as I can remember, anybody notice what CeeDee Lamb? Anybody knows what anybody else did on the team? I think they know what he's saying. I don't think they took this as he's talking about us. We already heard Dak Prescott speak out. So what did Dak Prescott say? He would like Mike McCarthy to come back and be able to do things his way. Who is he talking about? Front office. Jordan Lewis, he got a little nervous. Hey, guys, I wasn't taking a shot at the team. No, Jordan Lewis, you were telling the truth. You got tired of getting lowballed. You got tired of the team-friendly deals.
Right.
It's not a shot. DeMarcus Lawrence wasn't taking a shot at the front office, I don't believe. But again, the very player that everyone is come out and excoriating, have you noticed Calvin Watkins purposely pointed out? Might I add, purposely. DeMarcus Lawrence was there. Could Calvin Watkins also be subliminally telling us? Y'all tripping on DeMarcus Lawrence. But he was at Zach Martin's retirement. Where was Micah Parsons? Where was he? Y'all better learn to read people. They'll tell you who they are. They'll tell you what they're thinking by what they say and what they don't say. Pay attention to how Calvin Watkins is moving on this thing. He moved very carefully on it. But what did he do? He came back around when he got on the radio. Oh, he going to mention what he didn't put in the article.
I'm not saying that this is, something going on with Zach and Micah. I'm not saying that at all. But when here's one of the most decorated players in the history of the game, he has like these 3 pages of copy written out about his retirement, so meticulous, he doesn't even have your name in there. And he mentions a lot of players.
Yeah.
That says something. That was eye-opening to me. I was like, he didn't mention Micah. Mention Dak, mention CD, didn't mention Micah, right? Mm-hmm. So it was interesting. But I think some of these things can be worked out. I don't think it's the end of the world type of thing. I mean, look, I covered Terrell Owens when he was here, right? I covered Des Bryant, So there have been other guys who've been a little more combustible than Micah. Jay Ratliff, all these guys. They're good guys. They're just a little combustible. So, but it can be worked out, I believe.
Calvin Watkins from the...
Keep in mind what he's saying. Did you check out what he said? These things can be worked out. Worked out? Well, there's no problem. What needs to be worked out? There's a problem. I don't think some of us even remember. Even Mike McCarthy had a meeting with Micah Parsons. Why? Why would he feel the need to do that? Why did he feel the need to meet with Micah Parsons? Why? Why did he feel the need to do that? There's a reason. The team is saying that they don't quite like the things that he says. No one's saying they don't like the way he plays. They're saying they don't like the way he does things. I think that's what they're telling us. And again, Donnell Pride, I'm going to have to tell you, I'm going to have to just say the truth. You said, was D-Law a leader? Yes. Yeah, he was. Where you think that Hot Boys mess come from? Yeah, D-Law was looked at as a leader on this team once upon a time. He was. He absolutely was looked at as a leader on this team. Understand where Micah Parsons came in and usurped DeMarcus Lawrence. Micah Parsons did not usurp DeMarcus Lawrence as a leader. He usurped him as a performer on the field. That's where he usurped him. That's where he usurped DeMarcus Lawrence. Now, the issue that I have is DeMarcus Lawrence to me was never that good of a pass rusher. I never really looked at DeMarcus Lawrence like that. I mean, even when people were talking about, the number of sacks he got a season, a couple of seasons, I never was enamored with one DeMarcus Lawrence. I looked at DeMarcus Lawrence more as exactly what he was. A very good defensive player. But I always thought he needed someone else to go along with him. And the problem is, him and Micah Parsons, and this is what Michael Irvin pointed out, they should have been working better together, but they didn't. And Michael Irvin is saying, and again, even though he's taking Micah Parsons' side, the reality is, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. It was both of their fault. See, we want to take sides. I'm not taking sides. It's both of their fault. Both of them. They have both played this sport long enough to know that, man, you got to work together. Micah Parsons should have understood, okay, D-Law, understand, elder statesman, leader on the defense, but also DeMarcus Lawrence should have understood, okay, young guy coming in, wrecking shop. This guy is on the verge of being great. So rather than me being mad about it, being jealous about it, hey, how do I help him to become the best that he can be and surpass me and pass the torch? Because this is what football is about. The draft is too big. Free agency is too big. There's always somebody coming in, and especially when you're talking about younger guys. So you have to stay on your craft, but also you have to be able to recognize when this guy is better than me, but it doesn't mean that I don't still add something to the team. So rather than me pouting or tripping, let me figure out how to help him be the best that he could be. But again, see, I'm saying some stuff, but these things are easy said and done sometimes, because sometimes we get some of these young people, they won't listen, they have no respect, and they actually want to take things rather than earn things, or think they deserve things rather than earn things. So there's a whole dynamic going on here. But I can tell you this. I can answer a question for us right here. I'm going to let Zach Martin say it. And when Zach Martin says it, it sounds insane. It sounds insane the way Zach Martin says it. Because I can tell you this, and I understand what you're saying, Donnell, but he was. You don't have to give it to him, but he was. DeMarcus Lawrence was a leader on this defense. Whether anyone likes it or not, he was a leader on this defense. He was. He was a part of that Hot Boy stuff. He was a leader. We don't have to say we liked him as a leader, but he was. And again, I'll tell you this even, Donnell, they recognized him as a leader. They recognized him as a leader. They did. Whether we like it or not, they recognized him as a leader. They did. And I guarantee you there are some players, when him and Micah Parsons are going at it, there are some players that was on DeMarcus Lawrence's side. I'm telling you, the team did look at him as a leader. Oh, yeah, Katharina, Dak is the unequivocal leader on the team. Now, what I'm hoping, Katharina, is that one, Brian Schottenheimer is really going to push Dak Prescott into an overall, like, Dak, you got to really take control of this entire team. But I'm telling y'all, Micah Parsons is one of those personalities. He's one of those personalities, man, and it just is what it is. He's young, he's immature, and he's selfish. He's very selfish. He is. Now, again, Michael Hooper, I appreciate what you're saying. Stop listening to the media. Okay, you said stop listening to the media? No. Let me tell you something about Calvin Watkins. I give Calvin Watkins credit. Calvin Watkins is pretty tapped in. But Michael Hooper, you said stop listening to the media, right? Let me let you listen to Zach Martin. What Zach Martin says here, you can't take this any other way than how Zach Martin says it. Listen to this. Let me cue it up. All right, you guys hold on just a second. All right, check this out. All right. Now I have this queued up. I want y'all to listen to what Zach Martin says and what he doesn't say. Just listen.
I'll miss the little moments, laughing in the locker room, pushing each other to be better and watching each other grow, not just as players, but as husbands and fathers. Football is about relationships, and I've been fortunate to share this journey with some incredible men and teammates over 11 seasons.
Okay. I just want you to hear every little detail, because the reason why you got to listen to the details, he wrote this. He's not coming off the top of the dome. He wrote this. This is a 3-page prepared speech. Now, if I'm writing a 3-page prepared speech, you better believe I'm going to go back and I'm going to read what I wrote. I'm going to make sure I got every name in there that I want to mention. The names that I want to mention, I'm going to make sure that is in a written speech. If I'm going off the top of the dome, I might miss some. But if I wrote it, I'm being very calculating in what I wrote. Did you catch what he said? He said, this game is about relationships. Is it about relationships? Really? Let you hear me say it again.
Little moments, laughing in the locker room, pushing each other to be better and watching each other grow, not just as players, but as husbands and fathers. Football is about relationships, and I've been fortunate to share this journey with some incredible men and teammates over 11 seasons.
Football is about relationships. I've shared it with some incredible men. Are we hearing what he's saying? this is him saying this in a prepared speech. I'm just telling y'all right now. I'm just telling y'all right now. If someone writes a prepared speech and they leave you out of the speech, doesn't mean they don't like you. Two things can be true. It doesn't mean that they don't like you. But if they put your name personally in the speech, what does that say about you? He said it's about relationships, and I played with some incredible men. Listen to the name that's missing.
Jason Witten, Tony Romo, Doug Free, Ron Leary, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, right side, Lyle Collins.
Now somebody says, oh man, he ain't mentioning defensive players. Really? Keep listening.
Connor Williams, Joe Looney, Sean Lee,
Sean Lee,
Tyrone Crawford, Jeff Heath, Cam Lawrence, Anthony Hitchens, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Mentioned DeMarcus Lawrence, didn't he? Mentioned DeMarcus Lawrence, didn't he? He's going to mention Jordan Lewis.
Jordan Lewis, my quarterback, Dak Prescott.
I love this little touch he put right here. He mentioned Tony Romo, but he said Dak Prescott, my quarterback. And that could be related to the fact Dak was his last quarterback. But no, I think Zach Martin also absolutely loved Dak Prescott. I think Zach Martin actually sees Dak Prescott as a crazy leader. But again, just listen.
Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard, Dalton Schultz, Cooper Rush, Leighton Vander Esch, Tyler Biotic, Terrence Steele, Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, CJ Goodwin, Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass, Matt Waletzko, Tyler Smith, Dakota Shepley, Awesome Richards, and the countless others that I've missed.
Wait. Okay, so y'all telling me, y'all tell me what you think. So you don't think this is calculated? Brandon Cooks? Brock Hoffman? Wait a minute. Tyler Biotic? Wait a minute. How do they get on the list and Micah Parsons not on there? I don't understand why people are not understanding how crazy this is. Someone said, oh man, it was an honest mistake. How is it an honest mistake when he's mentioning third string players like Cooper Rush? What? This crazy. This crazy. I don't care how you slice it. Hey, Mark Mercue. Awesome Richards. Come on, man. Hey, Virgo, tell me, man. Tell me I'm not going crazy. This is insane who this man is mentioning. It's almost like he mentioned everybody but Micah Parsons. Tell me anything you want to. No. Zach Martin is saying what he's thinking. He wrote this. This is not off the top of the dome. And if it was off the top of the dome, I don't know which one is more inexcusable. How in the world do you mention Dak Prescott? You say he my quarterback. You mention CeeDee Lamb. You're mentioning all these players, man. And you don't mention the edge rusher who's gotten 12 sacks in an average of 12 sacks 4 seasons in a row? Mr. Podcast, Mr. Media Man, Mr. About to be, as Michael Irvin said, the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. You're telling me Zach Martin just happened to forget? No. This is calculated. This is calculated. Zach Martin is telling you exactly how he views Micah Parsons by what he's not saying. Because I don't see how you mention those names and you don't mention Micah Parsons. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And it's also, and I don't know, You got to explain to me. This ain't even about leadership. Why would I not be there for Zach Martin? Why would I not be there? No, I got to be there. I got to be there. I'll be honest with you. Brian Schottenheimer's first press conference. Me. Oh, I got to be there. Why do I have to be there? Because I'm a leader on this team. I have to be there. I have to be there because I want to show the team that I'm supporting Brian Schottenheimer. I have to be there. Don't tell me you're a leader. Show me you're a leader. Show me. Show me you're a leader. Now, if you just want to be a great player on the field, okay, we'll roll with that too. I can roll with that. I'm not tripping. You just want to be a good player on the field? I'm not tripping. Do it. But understand this. We're not recognizing you as a leader. We're not recognizing you as a leader. We're not doing it. Because I can tell you up front, Zach Martin not recognizing him as a leader. That's all he's saying. He's not. He's not recognizing him as a leader. D-Web, I don't know. You can tell me it's beyond telepathy, but, bro, people tell you what they're saying, but what they're not saying, too. D-Web, you don't find it to be strange. This dude is mentioning players. Come on, man. You're mentioning Brock Hoffman. I don't get it. It don't make sense to me. Don't make sense. Hector said, Parsons don't take football seriously. It's a problem in the locker room. Hector, I think there are some people that got a problem with him. And I don't think there was necessarily a problem with Zach Martin per se. But I don't think that Zach liked the way he rolls. He is the one who started talking about Zach Martin being retired before Zach Martin's even retired. If anybody listened to Micah Parsons during the season, you pretty much knew this was Zach Martin's last season. Zach Martin probably like, this dude can't hold water. But whatever the case may be, there's no speculation. This is fact. It's not speculation. It's not innuendo. Zach Martin said he's played with some great players. He's been playing with Micah Parsons for 4 years. The player that people are saying is, they're comparing him to Lawrence Taylor, comparing him to Reggie White, comparison after comparison after comparison. And you don't mention it? You're mentioning backups? Y'all got to make that make sense to me. Don't make sense to me at all. It don't. Don't make sense. But maybe this is some of the stuff maybe they're talking about. Maybe they'll talk to Micah Parsons about some of this stuff. And kind of let him know, man, this is kind of how people are feeling towards you. You got to do some things to change it. You have to. You got to do some things to change it. Skull Unknown said Michael can go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl. Well, you look at the teams you named. Why wouldn't he win on those teams? Skull Unknown, the Eagles have already won a Super Bowl without Micah Parsons. Surely they can win one with him. The Eagles can win a Super Bowl with Micah Parsons on the bench and never playing. You know how I know? Because he didn't play for him this year. He didn't even play for him. Patrick Mahomes can win a Super Bowl with or without Micah Parsons. You know how I know, Skull Unknown? He's already won a couple of them without Micah Parsons. Just telling us. D-Web, there you, D-Web, say it. Zach is making it clear as day that Micah's a problem in the organization. Hey, it's D-Web. Now, D-Web, two things can be true. This doesn't mean that they don't want Micah Parsons no more. Don't mean that. This is just, to me, it's a wake-up call to say, hey, man, you're going to have to do some little bit of maturing, bro. We need you to mature fast sooner than later. Skull unknown. DeMarcus Lawrence wasn't the problem. I said the same thing. Dak Prescott is the problem. The organization was being way bad. The stint with Dak Prescott is the best we've seen since Troy Aikman. It's the best we've seen. Bottom line, it's the best we've seen. But he hasn't been the problem. And again, I'm going back to my original premise. There's a reason why DeMarcus Lawrence said what he said. He wasn't taking a shot at the quarterback, the running back. He wasn't taking shots. Hey, D Webb, let me make sure I apologize to you. You know what? You said something back here that's so funny now that I got it. Hey, you got to forgive me. I'm a little slow on this part. Boy, you said something right here that's hilarious now. You said this is beyond telepathy. Boy, this is funny what you said. Because now I get what you're saying. I mean, this is beyond telepathy, what Zach Martin just did. I get exactly what you're saying now. This dude just said what he said without saying it. I don't view this dude. I don't even know, but to say that you played with a lot of great players, and then you mention guys that many of us are questioning, like, okay, he's a great player? And you don't mention a great player? Oh, that's, whoa, wait a minute, that's a shot. That's a shot right there. That's crazy work to me. That's absolute crazy work. I get exactly what you're saying now, D-Webb. That is beyond telepathy, my brother. Fane, it ain't happening. Dak ain't going nowhere. Waste of a conversation there. Derail. Zach is leaving Micah out of his speech. Says a lot. Derail. Says a lot. It does. Now, did y'all catch what Calvin Watkins said? They can work through this stuff. Now, it was being reported that Micah Parsons, people were saying that Micah Parsons was about to sign a deal on Tuesday. Somewhere in there, Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere in there. Everybody noticed the deal didn't get signed? That's no shade on the reporting. They're only reporting what they're hearing. That's no shade on the reporting. I think what may have happened is that maybe it was exactly what was being reported. Rather than it being a deal, maybe the deal is already done. Maybe there's some talking before the deal gets signed. Because again, Micah Parsons is getting signed, guys. This is not about Micah Parsons not getting signed. Micah Parsons is getting signed. But maybe they're talking about some of the stuff that Calvin Watkins is talking about. Because it sounds like to me, Calvin Watkins is talking from a position like he knows they're talking about this stuff. Because notice what he says. This is stuff that can be worked out. What do you mean worked out? Why does it need to be worked out? What is it to work out? We know that they're signing him, but what is it to work out? Maybe this is some of the stuff they're talking to him about. And again, we take things too negative. D-Webb says Jerry need to grab the broom and clean house. Yeah. And again, a conversation doesn't have to be a conversation of, hey, man, you're either going to do this or we're not going to sign you. That don't have to be the conversation. Maybe the conversation is simple. Hey, Micah, we just want to let you know how some of your teammates look at you. And, we want to fix this. Because we want you to be a leader on it. We want you to be one of the leaders on this team. We want you to help lead this team. We want you to be the leader on the defense. We want you to really be a leader. And I guarantee you, some of the conversation is spring training. We want you to be here in the spring, Micah. We can't tell you to come to the voluntary workouts. Wink, wink. Come on, man. We know what voluntary workouts mean. They're not voluntary. No, we want you to volunteer. That's what they are. Because to volunteer shows the young guys why they ought to be here. That's what you're doing this stuff for. And I'm sure they're having some of these conversations. As Calvin Watkins said, they can't tell him because it goes against the CPA. or the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. You can't do it, but you can insinuate things. And again, I told y'all last night, they did this same stuff to Tony Romo. Tony Romo didn't have a podcast, but Tony Romo thought he was going to be a professional doggone golfer, and Tony Romo almost made the tour one season. I think they said that Tony Romo was one stroke away from making the tour. You're a football player? They were saying some of these same types of things with Tony Romo. So again, it's not about knocking and kicking Micah Parsons. It's just stating a clear issue that I think there are some people that's got an issue with one Micah Parsons. And if you're not listening to what Zach Martin is not saying, I don't know what to tell you. I think the man is speaking. The silence is deafening. It is. The silence is deafening. His bottom line, the silence is deafening. Silence is deafening on this. No, Skull, no, you're saying it wrong. Micah, Skull, no, let me put this to you a different way. Do you think Micah Parsons would be getting the attention that he's getting if he wasn't on the Dallas Cowboys? No one would care a hill of beans if Micah Parsons was on another team podcasting. No one would care. You know how I know? Because you said there are other guys who are podcasting. I don't know who they are. You know why I don't know who they are, Skull Unknown? Because no one else talks about them. I don't know who they are. Other people don't talk about them. The reason why people talk about Micah Parsons is not because he's so great on the field. Y'all do know there are other players who are great on the field, right? That are not Dallas Cowboys. We know this because we just saw people go to the playoffs, win playoff games, win Super Bowl games. We've seen all this stuff. No, it's because Micah Parsons is a Dallas Cowboy, and let's not fool ourselves. That's why Micah Parsons gets extra attention. It's the same reason why Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott was on another team, I promise you, everyone would be singing the praises of Dak Prescott. I heard Joy Taylor herself say, if Dak Prescott was on another team, 4th-round draft pick, and had achieved the things that he's achieved so far, she said everybody would be singing the praises of Dak Prescott, but they can't. Go back and listen to what happened when the Cowboys drafted one Dak Prescott. How many of them were saying, oh, he'll just be a career backup. He'll never be a starter. All the derogatory things they said, only for Dak to overcome and supersede everything they said. Everything they said, he's made it not true. So now they've raised it to the highest bar. He'll never win a Super Bowl. Okay, let's wait and see. Let's just wait and see. That's all we have to do. Wait and see. The man's career is not over because by these people's standards, Peyton Manning would have been a bum. Drew Brees would have been a bum. Even Stephen A. Smith, when asked about the Dak Prescott thing, it's because he's got a star in his helmet. So that's the standard. Hate it or love it, that is the standard. And if Micah Parsons didn't have a star on that helmet, no one would care a hill of beans this man was doing a podcast. Nobody. Absolutely nobody would care. It's because he's a Dallas Cowboy. And that's why people care. That's why people care. I'm just telling you. But see, Bates, I see you. I see what you did there. He says it's the same cousins. He gets credit for exceeding his pick. Yep. I'm with you. Nope. Bills. Two things can be true. Micah Parsons is actually the one that's created the image Bills. And you said, y'all, I'm just telling you. You got to tell me, Bills. You don't find it strange that Zach Martin, bro, he mentioned in third string play Bills. He mentioned Cooper Rush, man. He mentioned Brock Hoffman. He literally mentioned everybody almost on the offense and the defense with the exception of Micah Parsons. Man, you got to tell me now, Bills. You got to tell me, If that's not saying something, man, what is? Bills, two things can be true. Micah Parsons, great player? Yes. Micah Parsons, leader on the field? No. He's not a leader. He's trying to make himself the leader, but he's not. Now, he's young. We're going to wait and see. But I do believe that maybe what they're talking to him about is leadership. And this is the part that people are discounting. Maybe they're talking to him about leadership. They're not talking like, hey, man, we're not going to sign you. No, they're talking to him about leadership. Bills, tell me, you wouldn't want to know what your team is saying about you? Oh, I want to know what the team is saying about me. I do. I want to know what they're saying about me. And actually, I would want some of them to be man enough to come to me one-on-one and say, or even if they wanted to have an intervention, no coaches involved, no coaches, no cameras, no cell phones, intervene on me. Tell me where you are. Tell me where you are. I would love it as a man because the Bible tells us something that's very important. Consider the interest of others before your own. And that's not telling us to do things nefarious and put people's desires and wants before ours. No, but what that is saying, understand how what you do affects everyone else. That's all the Bible is telling us. That's a principle that all of us should follow as it applies to our family, as it applies to our circles, as it applies to our jobs, as it applies to teams that we work on. I mean, the teams, if we're on teams. Understand, hey, everything I'm doing, does it affect the people around me? Does it affect them? And if it affects them in a negative way, then how do I stop it from affecting them in a negative way? Or how do I do what I do without affecting other people around me in a negative way because I don't want to bring a bad light to anybody around me? It's all just saying. Oh, Steve Campanella. You just said it. The Joneses have created this monster. Facts. Facts. 52 brands. Facts. People literally play for the Cowboys to build their brand or consider what it brings me in building my brand, what it brings me off the field. Being a Cowboy is very lucrative. It's one of these teams that when you come to the Cowboys, you already know, hey, man, this is going to be pretty lucrative if I can do pretty well here. Answer me this. Why would Micah Parsons want to be a Cowboy for life? That's one of the strangest things. I mean, I understand it, but why? Does he love the Cowboys? I guess there's a part of him that does, but could there be another part of it too? Because we see what happens to these Cowboys after football. I'm just telling us. Big Mace, you don't even have to think it. We are going to sign him. We're going to sign him. And I'm with you on this part too. You don't trust the delusional front office to get something better. I'm with you on that part too. And I don't think you trade Micah Parsons, Big Mace. I don't think you trade Micah Parsons unless you can literally get the Herschel Walker trade. Because it will require you to go in the draft, trade up, get somebody like Abdul Carter, or get like 3 first-round draft picks and a couple of 2s, and then in next year's draft, you try to get the best. You try to trade up and get the best get the best edge rusher. You bring in multiple edge rushers in the first couple of rounds this year. I mean, it will require you to do some things to replace Micah Parsons. No one is irreplaceable, but I think it would require you to get multiple players. It would. But again, let's hear the rest of Calvin Watkins. No hate on Micah Parsons. I'm just telling us, man, when you listen to what Zach Martin said, it's crazy. It's crazy of all the people that he mentioned. But he didn't mention Micah Parsons. That's crazy to me. My girl Angie, the Rebel Chicks, what's up? It's just crazy to me, guys. I'm just telling you. Andre said Martin needed more money and left us with a truckload of dead money. Man. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did, man. For sure. Yeah, Bills, like I said, it's not a knock on Micah Parsons because Micah Parsons is going to be here. We ain't sweating that. Micah Parsons is going to be here. I would be shocked, Bills. I would be literally shocked if the Cowboys got rid of Micah Parsons. I would be shocked. And there's still people over here on Athlon Sports. I saw something the other day. And I was laughing about it because they over here talking about there's still trade talk for Micah Parsons. Stop it. There's no doggone trade talks for Micah Parsons. None. I don't even know where they get this stuff from. Talking about trading for Micah Parsons. It is literally crazy. It's crazy. And then some of this stuff they be talking about, it just be some obscure person saying they got this, they got a solution to this and blah, blah, blah. I think it's stupid. No one is trading Micah Parsons. They're just not doing it. And we would be dumb to do it without 4 first-round draft picks. I'm just telling you. Jackie Smith, what's up? I agree with you. She said, Chad, hit that like button. 185 in here, and we only got 80 likes in here. Let's keep it going. Woo, Kerry Kelly. Woo. Whew. That's tough what you said right here. Your image is yours. Not made by anybody else but yourself. That's tough. You're right. We as fans don't give Mike his image. You're right. You're right about it. Facts. My man Chanel up in here. What's going on? Chanel said, why does Dak get more criticism as Dak has always been taking the blame? They have never touched Mike until now. And then still not talking about his play in the playoffs. 4 playoff games, 1 sack. Yes, sir. Facts. Facts on that part. Bills. You tell me, though, Bills, how would you feel if you got somebody in the locker room calling the owner his uncle? How would you feel? Man, if I was a player in the Cowboys locker room, man, I'd be kind of tripping on that stuff right there. And then defending Jerry Jones, Bills, man, I'd be tripping. I'd be like, hey, man, don't say nothing around this dude. Hey, Bills, I'm just saying, man, you ever had that dude at work? That dude at work, and it seemed like he like the boss's homeboy. And you be like, hey, man, don't say nothing around that dude, man. I mean, he that dude when people come around, everybody be quiet. Everybody be quiet. I mean, I would feel some type of way, Bills, the way that Michael be talking about Jerry. Man, I'd be tripping. I really would. But again, let's hear this thing from Calvin Watkins, and then we're going to move on. I want to move on to the trade rumor that's out there. But Calvin Watkins got a couple other interesting things to say. And Calvin Watkins is being very careful in what he's saying because, Bills, I think he's trying to avoid exactly what you're saying. And think about this, Bills. He didn't put this thing about Zach Martin inside of the article on the Dallas Morning News. But I think if he puts the thing about Zach Martin in the article in the Dallas Morning News, well, one, he would probably put Zach Martin on the spot to where maybe people would have been asking Zach Martin some questions. But now that it died down a little bit, he came back and mentioned it on the radio. But, man, that's like bombshell stuff he says right there. It's crazy. But let's hear a little bit more of Calvin Watkins.
Dallas Morning News, join us here on 105 through the Fan. You said there it can be worked out, you believe. Do you think this is something that rises to a level as an issue that it's going to be something the Cowboys talk about with him in his contract negotiations, that they'll address some of this? Hey, are you fully locked in, or do you have the best relationship with your teammates all the time? Do you think that's something that they'll broach with him?
I think so, yeah. From what I was told at the Combine, they are going to talk to him about, hey, you want to be a leader on this team? Get your ass to the facility.
See there? You see there? Calvin Watkins is not just saying stuff off the top of the dome. Calvin Watkins is tapped in. Calvin Watkins is tapped in. And they're telling him stuff. Yeah, we're going to talk to him about this. And that's why I said before, maybe that's what they called him in for when people thought he was getting a contract signed. No, maybe they're calling him in for this stuff. Calvin Watkins, y'all, isn't talking like someone who's guessing. He just said, I talked to him at the Combine. Who was they? I think he's talking about Steven and Jerry.
When it opens up. I think he's got good relationships with players in the locker room. Him and CeeDee Lamb are very close. when Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence were going at it on Twitter or X or whatever we call it now. Wanye Thomas defended Micah, so there are. I mean, it's not like it's 98% against Micah in the locker room, right? But it's clear that I'm sure there's some players in there that are like, hey man, what's up with this podcast during the season, bro? And I think that's something that has to be addressed. And yes, as I said, he comes prepared, he comes in shape, he's all of those things. But as you guys know, when you are going to command one of the highest contracts in the league, you got to do a little bit more.
This is the same thing. If y'all don't remember, this is the same spiel they had on Tony Romo. Y'all remember the thing about Tony Romo wearing his hat backwards? Remember that? Man, it was crazy how they were talking about Tony Romo. Let me see if I can find this. People were tripping about Tony Romo wearing his hat backwards as a sign of him not being serious. And Tony Romo got to the point that he started making other players turn their hat around forward. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find it. Watch this. Watch this. Let me show you. Y'all think this is only about Micah Parsons. This is not just about Micah Parsons. I'm telling you, Tony Romo used to get tripped on. Tony Romo used to get tripped on this stuff. Look at this. Now, I want you to see these pictures of Tony Romo. Look. People used to trip on this. People used to trip on Tony Romo wearing his hat backwards. People were saying that Tony Romo wasn't serious. This is what people were saying about Tony Romo. You don't believe me? Let me show you. Y'all don't believe that some of this stuff is not new? Watch this. Look. Why do y'all think they got articles like this still on the internet? Look. Sorry, but Tony Romo's cap is inconsequential to the Cowboys' success. Why are they saying this? Why are they saying this? Tony Romo is an older, wiser, a father, and if a generation crotchety, as it says, more mature. I'm again stunned by all the insane opinions streaming from the end of last Sunday's victory of the Saints. As Romo finished his on-field interview with NBC's Michelle Tafoya, he reached over and adjusted teammate DeMarco Murray's cap, turning it around so the bill faced forward. Y'all remember that? Why was he doing that? Why was he doing that? Perception is reality. People were saying he was immature for wearing his hat backwards. Tony Romo did this stuff after he got the big deal. After he got the big contract, Tony Romo wanted to show that he was for real. Tony Romo wasn't doing some things in the offseason that Jerry thought he should have been doing. Guess what he did when he signed that last big deal? He started doing exactly what Calvin Watkins is talking about. They're talking about him not showing up to spring training. This is not new. They were doing the same stuff to Tony Romo. Look at this. It says, I'm not nearly shallow enough to analyze or even care how a player wears his cap, but there are a lot of grumpy old men in the media who do. Ed Warder tweeted, Tony Romo has learned. And ESPN talk show host Colin Cowherd did a whole segment on how the move symbolizes the maturation of Romo, and in fact credited it for his improved football play. Y'all think this stuff is new? This isn't just a Micah Parsons thing. I got an email from a friend, longtime Cowboys fan, that echoed the same silly sentiment. The Hollywood-seeking, backwards cap wearing in front of the camera doesn't work. It only distracts and confuses the mindset and gives off a bad image. Just telling us. This isn't new. This isn't new. Now, I think that Micah, some of the things that he's doing, it might be a little bit, it's not even a little bit. Micah is out there in the media doing a lot of things that are very distracting for people. in particular the podcast, always giving his opinion on certain things on the media. He does a lot of those types of things and speaking out that rubs some people the wrong way. And again, where Tony Romo hat wearing bothered the media, or wearing the hat backwards bothered the media, Micah Parsons is doing some things that the locker room feels is a problem too. And that's the big difference. But I'm telling y'all, Tony Romo, this stuff with Tony Romo, this is not new. And some of it I probably can't find, but I'm telling you, people were talking about Tony Romo playing golf in the offseason. Look at this. Let me show you what the New York Post said. Y'all don't believe me? I'm just showing you. This isn't new when people start talking about distractions. But again, some of Tony Romo's stuff was more of the media being annoyed. But there was another part of this. This story right here, they were talking big time about this. Colin Cowherd blames golf bug as potential cause for Tony Romo's slippage. They kept saying that Tony Romo was not serious enough about football. They were always saying and this is when he signed a big contract, everything went haywire. Romo, who is 3 seasons into a 10-year contract worth $180 million with CBS, and this is okay. Again, I mentioned this the other day. They're even making this a complaint while he's now doing this for CBS. It was the same complaint though they had when he was playing football. They were saying that Tony Romo wasn't serious enough about football because he was playing golf, and they looked at it as a distraction. So this isn't new when you start talking about these players' distractions. It's not new. It's just not new. And people feel, though, see, Micah is doing some things. It's not just what he's doing, but it's how he's saying certain things that sometimes affect the team. And as Mike McCarthy said, you know, you're saying things that other people have to answer for. Duh. So I'm telling you, this distraction stuff isn't new. And so just like they wanted one Tony Romo to mature, this is probably the same conversation they're having with one Micah Parsons. Same conversation. So it's not anything new. But again, just listen to Calvin Watkins, man. Calvin Watkins is dropping some megaton bombs. Calvin Watkins isn't talking in hyperboles or you know, he's talking as in, no, I know this is what's being discussed.
So do you think if the team went to him and said, hey, here's your $45 million, but the podcast is gone, and I guess would Jerry even want him to cancel it because, you know, the publicity, but you know, do you think Micah signs up for that?
Oh, yeah. If they say, look, we're going to give you $45 million, you better tell Bleacher Report we're done, it's done. But I don't think the Cowboys would do that. I think the Cowboys would say, be mindful of what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, because look what it's drawing some attention here. Now, I agree with you. Jerry doesn't really care per se because all publicity is good publicity, right? But, you know, by him not showing up to the voluntary workouts last year, Mike McCarthy was a little, hey, what's going on here, bro? You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember when they hired Mike Zimmer as the new defensive coordinator, Zimmer hadn't talked to him yet. And I don't know if Zimmer was upset, but you could tell Zimmer's like, you know, you probably need to be here so I can show you some stuff, right? You know, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, being a pass rusher is not that complicated, right? Ready, Hutt, go after the quarterback. You know, it's not brain surgery here, you know. But there's some philosophy things that, you know, certain down, distance situations, we do different things. So there's some things you need to know, right? So just be there.
Calvin, do you have any doubt that a deal gets done? And what did you think of any of the trade talk regarding Parsons?
I don't think the trade talk was legitimate discussions. The people that matter, and that's Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, and the head coach, whether it be Mike McCarthy or now Brian Schottenheimer, I don't think they ever seriously thought about trading Micah Parsons. I think the trade talk came from lower levels of the organization that, hey, maybe we trade him and get 3 first-round picks. Well, yeah, you will get 3 first-round picks. Micah Parsons, sure. but what are you trying to do? If you do that, you're saying we're rebuilding because might as well get rid of Dak Prescott, might as well get a CeeDee Lamb because you are rebuilding, right? I've always been a big believer you don't trade away talent, right? When they traded Amari Cooper a couple of years ago, I thought that was, me and Stephen Jones talk about this all the time. I thought that was a mistake. You just don't trade talent. You try to work it out as best you can.
Yeah.
Because we have in Micah's case, he's a generational talent.
Yeah.
You got to keep him around. Now, if you're trading one generational talented player for another, okay, fine. That's cool. We're getting equal value here. But that's not what you do. So I don't think the trade talk was legitimate at all.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. The Cowboys have a Micah Parsons problem.
Let me give a couple of comments. Let me put a couple of comments on the screen. Boy, some of the ladies in here some of the ladies in here ain't playing, boy. I love it. Katharina Kiss, it's a team sport. And Dak CD, I don't know if you're a lady, but it says Katharina Kiss. I'm assuming you're a lady, but maybe you're posting on your wife's account or your girl's account. But Katharina Kiss says it's a team sport. Dak and CD can't carry the D team by boy, you need to go stop talking crap on Dak. You sound like you don't know crap about football. Straight up, tell him. Marcus Warner, Diggs or Blinn name wasn't mentioned either. Diggs don't surprise me either. Diggs name not being mentioned don't surprise me either. Deron Bland, I don't know. But again, hey Marcus, I don't see how you miss Micah Parsons. That's crazy to me. KH said he can't be the only one in the playoffs needing sacks. Yeah, but I tell you this, KH. Hey, man, when you supposed to be him, just like people want Dak to rise up and be Superman, what do you think we're thinking for Micah Parsons? We want the same thing. Big Mace. Hey, he said Hurts hands the ball off. Hey, man, when you playing on a super team, it's a whole lot of stuff you can do. Put Dak on that team. Watch what it look like. Put Dak on that team. Watch what it look like. Chanel said, yo, Lance. He said, yo, Lance ran Lance out of the building. He said, you guys in the chat don't be watching the games clearly. Yes, sir. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Chanel, you know what? I ain't mad at him for winning the Super Bowl, but it cannot be argued. Hurts had a super team. And Hurts will tell you himself, the first thing out of Hurts' mouth was defense wins championships. Defense wins championships. Flat out. It does. Bills. He said, I feel the fact that Michael uses platform to get his voice heard to use the same thing to get a point out to him. I think that's some of the stuff too, Bills, but that's really a tacky way to do it if you're talking about your team. Don't do that stuff to your team. And I think that's where they got the problem with Micah Parsons, is he's doing some of that stuff to his team. And he don't need to do that stuff to his team. When you're talking about your team, you go to your team. You go to your team. And, you leave it at that right there. There was another comment in here. Let me see here. Where is it at? Okay, I was laughing at this. It says Jameson's second baby mama. Okay, what's Jameson are you talking about? I got in my mind who you may be talking about, but I'm laughing when you said Jameson's second baby mama is your title. But again, hey, I appreciate the comments that you making on here too. Where was it at? You made a comment in here I thought was funny too. But I love it. I love what y'all doing in here. But again, it's a team sport, man. It's a team sport. Hey, D-Web. Hey, man. Boy, I'm so excited for the draft, I don't know what to do. And we're going to discuss that in just a moment when we get to the trade rumors. Let me finish our Calvin Watkins. It won't take but another couple of minutes, and then we're going to get to the trade rumors.
I know you got this. We get this all the time. It's infuriating. Bobby is probably going to go off on it later in the show. What do you say when you get the how much are you being paid? Here comes the hit piece, Calvin. What Jones timing?
Yeah.
They're using you as the mouthpiece to bring down his value. What do you say to that person?
I say it's not true because he's going to get his money either way.
Yeah.
And Micah has said during the season, do you want 38? Do you want 40 million per year? And Micah said, I just want enough for a lake house.
Yep.
David,
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? David Mugoleta, who is Parsons' agent, I'm sure is looking at the numbers and saying, Myles Garrett, that's pretty good money, you know? So, the Cowboys knew the story was coming, right? You know, you give them a heads up, say, hey, this is coming out and that kind of thing. And they thought the story was fair. Obviously, I'm going to think it's fair because I'm biased, right?
Will Micah be upset with you the next time you see him?
I don't think so. Because if Micah saw something, that's the great thing I like about Micah. If he sees something he doesn't like, he's going to say something about it.
Yeah.
You know, on X, or he'll see you in the locker room and give you one of those looks, right? And then he's an adult. He'll talk to you about it. He can work it out or whatever. So Micah's cool. But in terms of what you asked me about, the organization say you should write this. No, it doesn't work that way.
To that, with how the Cowboys free agency has gone so far, and what did you leave the combine thinking with the draft coming up?
The Cowboys open up a lot of space for a couple of reasons. They look at the present and the future. So opening the space, they go, okay, we're going to sign a lot of guys in free agency, and there were a lot of small contracts for 1 year. I think Solomon Thomas is the only guy that got a multi-year deal of all the free agents they signed. I think it was 10 free agents they signed. So they free up space for that, and something might happen during the season. Oh, my goodness, we could trade for Amari Cooper, and then boom, like they did a couple years ago, right?
Exactly.
And absorb some of that money. And here's the funny thing about the NFL's cap space. You can carry over some space to the next year, right?
Yeah.
So Micah's going to get his money this year, but the big hit will come next year. Then there's this guy named, I don't know if you've heard of him, Tyler Smith. He's going to get paid a big money deal because the guard market is rising in the NFL. And Tyler Smith is one of those guards. I remember running into his agent, and I said, hey, man, you in the lake house? What's going on here with Tyler Smith, right? And he's like, So you got to pay him at some point. So you're clearing up this space to carry over to the next year because Micah's going to take a big hit next year because that'll be the first year of his contract. And then at some point, you got to take care of Tyler Smith. And then, hey, if Deron Bland has a fantastic year, the cornerback market has gone up too.
Yep.
And I don't think Deron Bland will demand that amount of money, but he becomes a free agent. So you got to take care of him. And then you got 10 draft picks, and who knows what you might get if you trade 2 picks for a player or something of that nature. So it's a complicated formula that works in the NFL. So when you hear about, they cleared up all this space, well, it's for a lot of different reasons.
Love it, man. Thank you so much. Keep enjoying the harsh cigars, and we'll catch up with you next time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting with Calvin Watkins. But again, it's one of those things, and this is why, I gave my 2 reasons why I want the Cowboys to go ahead and sign Micah Parsons. 1, I don't want the Cowboys to spend any more extra money than they have to on Micah Parsons. Number 2, tired of the drama. Cowboys, talk to Micah Parsons, go ahead and get him signed. Even though he's already signed, we're wanting an extension. Cowboys already got him signed, though. But, guys, I do think that he will get signed before the draft. But what if? What if? Let's do a hypothetical. What if the Cowboys are seeing if Micah Parsons is going to come to spring training without a deal? What if they're waiting to see if he's going to do it? Never know what they could be looking for. Maybe they want him to do some of that stuff, and then they give him the deal. We're going to see here pretty soon. But I'm not going to be surprised if they go ahead. I'm not going to be surprised if they go ahead and sign Micah Parsons, because I think they need to sign Micah Parsons. They really do. They need to go ahead and sign Micah Parsons and stop all this drama that's always going on around the team and really get to the team building as quickly as possible. Now, the Otis is on one Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons got to stop talking about it and being about it. And don't say, if you're going to say it's my time, don't tell us it's your time. Show us it's your time. Go out there and do it in the locker room. Do it in the spring. Do it in the summer. And then show us what you can do with this defense as it gets going. But I'll just be honest with you guys. I really think that who's going to emerge to be the true leader on this defense is going to be Demarion Overshown. I just think the kid is special. Got a different aura about him. I'm not talking about just on the field, off the field. I've never heard people talk about a player with these Cowboys the way they all talked so glowingly about Demarion Overshown. So let's get to some trade rumors. And there's really only one trade rumor. And I want to kind of look at this. And it is this issue with people talking about the Cowboys' blockbuster trade idea from one Jackson Roberts. Let's look at what he's reporting over here. He's reporting Cowboys' blockbuster trade idea lands $60 million, 1,081-yard star from the Broncos. And who he's talking about here, he says, beyond star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, there's hardly any offensive talent on the Dallas roster that inspires confidence. Jalen Tolbert finished second on the team in receiving yards with just 610, an average of under 50 yards per game. Says here, on Wednesday, Landon Holyfield of Athlon proposed a trade target. It is amazing to me, they'll be talking like somebody like some agent in the NFL is proposing this. And then you look up at it to be some writer. It says, for the Cowboys, he says a proposed trade target for the Cowboys he believes is attainable is Denver Broncos veteran Courtland Sutton, who is entering the final year of his 4-year, $60.8 million contract extension. Meanwhile, Courtland Sutton could be the easiest acquisition. The big-bodied Brenham, Texas product also fits perfectly opposite CeeDee Lamb, with Denver maybe in retooling mode. A third-round pick could get it done. Said he's due $20 million this year, which is still cheap considering the current receiver market, and he's an unrestricted free agent in 2026. The Broncos may elect to move on, continue their youth movement, and let the Cowboys bring Sutton back where it all started. Now, let me tell y'all where I am on this. Let me tell you exactly where I am on this. People were talking about Keenan Allen. Now we're talking about Courtland Sutton. People were talking about Cooper Kupp. And while some people are mad that the Cooper Kupp deal fell through, I'm not. I'm glad the Cooper Kupp deal fell through. I'm absolutely glad the Cowboys did not go get Keenan Allen. And as much as I wouldn't mind the Cowboys bringing Amari Cooper in on the cheap, the only thing I want the Cowboys to do, I want the Cowboys to go in this draft, and I want the Cowboys to go get their own wide receiver. That's what I want the Cowboys to do. I want y'all to think about this from the football business perspective. Why would the Dallas Cowboys go get a 29-year-old Courtland Sutton, take on his $20 million salary, only for him next year to be a free agent, and then they have to work out another deal with Courtland Sutton if they want to pay him? And who thinks he's going to take less than $20 million a year again if he comes in here and just has a just blow up season? No. This is the best thing the Cowboys can do right here. You go in this draft and you go and get one of the top 4 wide receivers in the draft, because you don't have to trade up to do it. You can even trade back and still get one of the top 4 wide receivers in the draft. And I'm taking these top 4 wide receivers right here. I said it before. I'll say it again. I'm taking these top 4 wide receivers over Keenan Allen, Cooper Kupp, Cortland Sutton, Amari Cooper. I'm taking one of these 4 receivers over them. You know why? I get them for 7 years. I get to control their destiny for 7 years. 4 years, 5th-year option, 2 tags. I will take these receivers all day long. For what I'm going to pay for Cortland Sutton, for 1 season, I can literally get Matthew Golden, Ted McMillan, Luther Burden III, or Mecca Ibuka. Why would I go? I'm so glad people were talking about the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott called up Cooper Kupp. I don't want Cooper Kupp old self. No, man, no more retreads. No more retreads. Let me tell you something about maturity. When I was young, I bought retreads. When I became a man, I bought brand new tires. You buy brand new tires for your car. You don't buy retreads. Risking your life, them things slipping off on the highway, taking chances. No. I don't want no more retreads. No more retreaded wide receivers. Go get your own because you have. It's not like we're drafting at number 25. No, we're at number 12. Matthew Golden, 4.2940. Ted McMillan, 6'5". Got him at a 4.55. If I'm not mistaken, in his pro day, he ran a 4.48. Luther Burden III, everyone's saying he's kind of got some Dez Bryant in him. And my favorite wide receiver in the draft is a Mecca Ibuka. My favorite one in the draft. Again, when I watch him, speed, separation, break tackles, football speed, hands, he can catch, he can run, you can give it to him, you can jet sweep him. Mecca is insane as a wide receiver. The Cowboys can't lose. They can't lose. The only thing that makes sense as it applies to them not going and get Keenan Allen, paying the money for Cooper Kupp, the only thing that will justify that is they go in the draft and they get one of these 4 wide receivers. They get one of these 4 wide receivers. And I'm just telling you, I'm telling you, this dude, Mecca, for me, hands down. The Cowboys' offense is the easiest part to fix, whether people realize it or not. You already got a top 5 quarterback in Dak Prescott. You already got a top 5 wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb. The only thing you got to do, it looks like we got the offensive line that we want. I think the Cowboys are going to tweak it a little bit more. I think the Cowboys are going to tweak it. I think they're going to go and get Will Hernandez. They may add someone else for depth, and then the Cowboys are going to come into camp, and they're going to try to get that entire thing right. I think they're saying that the line, though, is pretty much intact. We already got a plethora of third receivers. Jalen Tolbert, for me, he's on the hot seat. I'm ready to let Jalen Tolbert go, but the Cowboys drafted him. They're going to give him another chance. Ryan Flanoy, he's very young. I'm definitely interested in seeing what he's going to be. Jonathan Mingo, we don't know what Jonathan Mingo is, but I got some confidence that when Dak Prescott gets a hold of Jonathan Mingo, he may challenge Tolbert for that third position. And then we got the Parrish kid. He's one of the fastest guys in the NFL. He could turn around and shock us. When I look at the Cowboys, 3rd and 4th options, not to mention Kevontae Turpin is the 4th wide receiver on the team and the gadget guy. When I look at what the Cowboys got at the 1st and the 3rd, what we're missing is the 2nd. And we don't need to go and blow our cap on an older receiver that we're probably only going to keep 1 year anyway. Nope. Go in the draft. Go in the draft and you get one of these doggone wide receivers and be done with it. Be done with it. I'm telling us. You go get one of these wide receivers right here and you be done with it. You're done with it. For me, everyone's overcomplicating the Cowboys' first 2 rounds. It's not complicated for me. This is a no-brainer for me. I don't want to do no more offensive lines in the first round. I'm done with that. I'm done with offensive linemen in the first round. I don't want to do no defensive line in the first round. I don't want to do O-line or D-line in the second round. I don't want no cornerback in the first round or the second round. I don't want none of that. This draft is too simple to mess up for the Cowboys. First round, wide receiver. Second round, running back. First round wide receiver, take your pick. I know who I'm picking. This is my pecking order. And I'm so torn between Mecca and Tet. I'm torn because what you miss in speed with Mecca, it's the size you get with Tet. 212, now we know he's running a 4.4, even though we got guys that already run a 4.4, but he's 6'5". 6'5", can run the routes. We know automatically he's going to win over so many cornerbacks in this league because of the size. All Dak has to do is throw it up. Tet will be able to out-jump so many cornerbacks in this league. I'm torn between him and Mecca because I think as it applies to Mecca, speed, straight line, but also the possession skills that he possesses. It's like he gets open. He gets open. He gets separation. First down, he's a stick mover. I like Mecca, but some people are saying that Luther Burden has got some Dez Bryant in him. And then, of course, Matthew Golden. Anybody watched him with Texas? He was the same way. A lot of speed, very good possession receiver, very clutch, love the big moments. When you're thinking about these types of wide receivers, and for me, the reason why I like Mecca is because these Ohio State boys, they're always playing on the biggest stage. They're always playing on the big stage. The moments are not too big for them. Y'all remember, when Zeke came to this thing, man, Zeke played like he was a veteran in his first season. The stage is not too big. And I don't think it's too big for Matthew Golden either. I mean, we saw what he's done. I mean, Matthew Golden, I think he's going to be an absolute beast. And the crazy thing is, they've actually moved Matthew Golden to the number 1 rated receiver. But again, for me, I think these three right here, Luther Burden III for me he would be my second choice per se, but it's it's Matthew, Tet, and Mecca. Any one of those three for me, I'm satisfied at the first round. I'm satisfied at the first round. And I'm not going to cry if it's Luther, but I don't think it's going to be Luther. If it's me, it's one of these three. If you want the speed, you better go Matthew and Mecca. And we probably need the speed as much as I would hate to pass on Tet. As much as I would hate to pass on Tet. And the only way, if I'm the Cowboys, y'all tell me what you think. The only way I pass on Tet is I know I can move backwards, pick up maybe a 4th round pick, and still get a Mecca. It's the only way I would trade out of 12 and pass up on Tet. I just think the Cowboys are going to be hard-pressed to pass up on Tet. But again, they could surprise us. They may love Matthew Golden. They may love Matthew Golden and go with Matthew Golden. But I think with Matthew Golden, I think you get some of the same type of stuff out of Mecca because you're talking about 4.29 versus 4.30. Talking about a 1/10 of a second. So you would still have 2 receivers, and that's my issue as it applies to Tet and Burden, because I do think the Cowboys need a wide receiver, and I mean a true wide receiver, not Kevontae Turpin. Kevontae Turpin is our gadget receiver. Kevontae Turpin is our receiver that we want to get underneath on crossing routes, get him in space, get him the ball, let him outrun everyone up the middle, up the seam, or however he outruns everybody. But when we're talking about those deep down the sideline routes, we've been trying to throw a 5'6" wide receiver. That ain't going to work. That requires precise ball placement. And there's not a lot of people going to be able to do that on a 5'6" guy unless he's totally in front of the wide receiver, of the cornerback and the safety. But if you get him in between, like Dak tried to do him this year, he may not come away with that ball. The Cowboys need a true number 2, take the top off the defense receiver that will free up CeeDee Lamb. They need to do that. They really do. And so the Cowboys' problem to me on offense is so simple. Everyone keeps talking about who they want them to get. I don't want them, the Cowboys, to go do any kind of trades. None. Man, go get your own, man. Go get your own wide receiver that you can have here for about 5 to 7 years. Go get your own wide receiver. You don't have to go get none of these retreads. As much as I love Keenan Allen, how long are you going to have Keenan Allen? For the money you're paying. And what's the drop-off from Keenan Allen to one of these top 4 receivers? Where you may have a drop-off in some of the skill, understand. But that younger guy, he got so much pure ability. The speed. I mean, think about the speed. Even the hunger, per se. Nah, man, I like Keenan Allen. Nah, man, I'm going to get my own wide receiver. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to get my own wide receiver. Dominique Pittman, he said, I'm not paying Cooper Kupp $15 million considering he hasn't had a 1,000-yard season in 3 straight years and can't stay healthy. Haven't played a complete season in 3 years. And Keenan Allen hasn't played but 1 complete season in 5. No, thank you. Nah, give me one of these rookies. Give me one of these top 4 dudes. You give me one of them top 4s, I'm done. Blitz said we definitely trading for an established young player during the draft. The first 2 rounds, Bills, I ain't trading for nobody. I'm getting my own wide receiver. I don't want none of these. I don't want none of these receivers that's in none of this free agency, none of this. And again, and if we trade, as long as we can trade back and still get one of these top 4. These 4 guys, to me, you tell me what you think, Bills. I just think these 4 guys right here can't miss. I just think them 4 guys right there cannot miss. They cannot miss. And I've heard there are some other people. I've heard about some people talking about Jack Beck. I've seen some people talking about Savion Williams. A lot of people like Savion Williams. And Savion Williams, 6'5", 448. You get you another Tet-type wide receiver. And also we have to consider that Dak Prescott is going to make these receivers even better if they'll catch the ball. But the Cowboys, in the grand scheme of things, they can't lose. And I do think they got to go get a wide receiver in the first round. And I'm going to tell you another kid that is high on my list. Dante Thornton Jr. This dude right here. Dante Thornton Jr. 214 pounds, 6'5", 4.340. You getting the catch radius, you're getting the speed, you're getting the height, you're getting the size. I mean, hey, this is one of them dudes right here. The Cowboys could trade back, literally. They could trade back and get this dude. They could trade back and get Dante Thornton. I'm telling you, man, I'm not doing none of this retread stuff everybody been talking about. I'm not doing it. Todd Church, he said sign Parsons. Now, remember, he's already signed. I think we signed Parsons to kill the drama. I think that's what we do, Ty Church. What's going on with you today? I say we kill the drama. That's what we do. Dominique said, I hope they give Overshown all the time he needs. I'll be honest with you, Dominique. I don't even want Overshown back this year. The Cowboys have addressed linebacker, and they're probably going to get one later on in the draft. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm not even trying to bring back. Don't even try to bring back Overshown early. Don't even try to bring him back early. We don't need no more of this type of stuff. This man looks like he's going to be one of the best players that we've ever seen on this team. Pete says, I doubt Micah's the leader. Will probably be Osa Fowler. I still got my money on Overshown if he can stay healthy. Jason said, what do you think about trading for quarterback Mixon? Okay. I saw some stuff on this already. Are we talking about the Mixon from, let's see, let me make sure this is who we talking about. Okay, you said quarterback Mixon. Tell me who this is we're talking about. Are we talking about this New England I thought some people were talking about the New England Patriots backup quarterback. I thought I saw some people talking about him. Okay, I thought it was Milton that everyone was talking about. Mixon. What do you think about trading for quarterback Mixon? Is this a college quarterback? I'm just being honest with you on the Cowboys at the quarterback position, too. I don't think the Cowboys need to be in the draft. I know that they were saying that they're going to go in the draft and do it. If I was the Cowboys, I wouldn't spend money in the draft on a quarterback. I would actually just go and see if I could get a veteran quarterback to come in and back up Dak Prescott. I would go and get a veteran quarterback to back up Dak Prescott, but I'm not sure what everyone's going to do. But I can tell you this. Now, I can tell you who I would not mind the Cowboys bringing in, because this is the guy I thought you were talking about. Man, let me tell you something. This kid right here, man, I watched this dude in the preseason. Man, this Joe Milton kid, I was like, man, New England is tripping sitting on this dude. This Joe Milton, the third dude, man, New England is tripping sitting on this dude. I would literally be trying to get a draft pick for this dude. Man, this dude in the preseason, I'm sorry, I thought New England should have started him. I just thought Joe Milton III looked that good in the preseason. I mean, y'all tell me what y'all think, but Joe Milton III looked crazy to me last year. I was like, what in the world? Who is this guy? Yeah, he was nice with it. And if you go back and look at his college tape, he looked real good in college already. This dude, man, this dude is nice. This is a dude that I wish the Cowboys, I mean, if they want to give up like a 5th-round draft pick, why go to the draft? Go get this dude. Go get Joe Milton III. I think he could literally be somebody that you say, hey, man, we're going to groom you to be Dak Prescott's replacement. This is a dude that I would literally be considering. If I'm the Cowboys, I would really be considering doing that. Y'all tell me what you think about Milton. I'm not really familiar with the Mixon kid. Ice Cold, he said Seattle could have Cup. Man, I'm telling you, I'm glad the Cowboys didn't do that transaction. I'm glad they didn't do that transaction. I just thought it was too much to spend. I just thought it was too much to spend with him. Big Mace, I'm telling you, man, you know what, Keenan Allen, I wouldn't have been mad had they brought him in, but for the money you're going to spend, I'd already said this, Big Mace, man, go get one of these doggone wide receivers. What you doing? Man, you go get one of these dudes. And I'm telling y'all, this dude, Dante Thornton, I wish the Cowboys could get him and like a Travion Henderson or a Ted McMillan. I'm telling you, Dante Thornton Jr., watch what I tell you. Whatever team gets Dante Thornton Jr., we're going to be talking in 3 to 4 years, if God allows us to see it. We're going to be talking about Dante Thornton Jr. getting a huge contract in this league because he's going to come in this thing and wreck shop. You watch what I tell you. Dante Thornton Jr. is going to wreck shop in this league. I'm telling you, this is one of them dudes right here. I would not be mad if the Cowboys found a way to trade all the way back and get Dante Thornton. It wouldn't hurt my feelings. It would not hurt my feelings. I'm pretty sure he's a projected 2nd rounder. Let me see. And this is definitely not true. Let me tell y'all something. If Dante Thornton Jr., based on this, if Dante Thornton Jr. goes all the way to the 6th round, the entire scouting process for the NFL is broken. There is no way this guy makes it to the 6th round. Let me tell you something. This guy makes it. If the Cowboys see this guy in the 5th round and they've already gotten a wide receiver, the Cowboys will be crazy not to get this guy in the 6th. I mean, the 5th. If the Cowboys get to that 5th round and he's still there, they're crazy if they don't take him. They're crazy if they don't take him. I don't even have to sweat it no more. I'm cutting Jalen Brooks and Jalen Tolbert. I'm bringing this dude in. Dante Thornton Jr. is going to be a problem in this league. I'm just telling y'all, this dude is going to be a problem in this league. Straight up, he's going to be a problem. Y'all tell me what you think. But he's going to be a problem. And so again, Cowboys, Man, they got so many they don't have to trade with anybody. All they got to do is go in this draft and get one of these wide receivers. Cowboys are in. Hey, Robert M., you know what's crazy? The same wide receiver. I already showed it in the live stream. I think it was last week. The same wide receiver that everybody was saying that they wanted the Cowboys to bring in, he was one of those wide receivers. He was drafted in the 3rd round. He came in and he contributed. And Robert M., put this in your mind. Do we need a wide receiver to come in and be better than CeeDee Lamb? Or do we just need a wide receiver to come in and alleviate some pressure off CeeDee Lamb? We don't need a wide receiver to be better than CeeDee Lamb. Not at this point. We need a wide receiver that's better than all these other ones that we have sitting there. And I think all these guys, I'll take the top 4 guys, Dante Thornton Jr. I still think he's better than all our thirds. I'll take Dante Thornton Jr. over everybody on the Cowboys team right now, other than CeeDee Lamb. I'll take Dante Thornton Jr. over all them jokers. Oh, man, yeah, I bring this guy in right here. But again, he is probably the second option for the Cowboys or something like that. And again, I'm telling y'all right now, I bet you there are teams right now praying that this dude make it to the 6th round. Some are probably praying he makes it to the 4th round. This dude, I don't see how he makes it to the 3rd. I just can't see Dante. If Dante Thornton even makes it to the 3rd, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. When you look at the tape on Dante Thornton, shoot, this dude is crazy with it. Crazy with it. Chanel, he said Buka. He can block and he's a team wide receiver as he's helped his fellow wide receiver get open by opposing team, putting top corners on him. Yeah, I'm telling you, Chanel. Emeka, man, I'm telling you, he is my favorite wide receiver. He's my favorite. Dante Thornton Jr., I would love to get him as a second one if the Cowboys got a second one. I would love to get him. I really would. This dude looks exceptional. Mirko said, over this trash. Now, Mirko, you understand why he's going to get his opportunities. He's going to get his opportunities because the Cowboys drafted him. He's going to get his opportunity because the Cowboys drafted him. So he in at least one more year. So him, I think Jalen Brooks, they'll probably give him one more year. But I could see Jalen Brooks easily being the odd man out by time training camp is done. Robert Simmons says, why every time I come on a Cowboys podcast, is one or two persons want to come and hate on Dak. Every time. Every time. Yes, sir. Steve, he said Cowboys trade back with Denver and get their wide receiver, then wanting for 2 or 3 years now. They then draft the rookie. Now, the only issue is, now if they could do both, fine. But I don't want him. I think, you're talking about Sutton? Too old. Cortland Sutton? Too old. If I'm the Cowboys, don't want him. And that's not saying that he's a bad wide receiver. He's 29 years old. Don't want him. He'll be 30. I don't want to pay Sutton no. I don't want to waste $20 million on him. For me, Cortland Sutton, again, when you start talking about these $20 million contracts, I don't get Cortland Sutton unless I believe I have everything I need to win the Super Bowl and he's going to push me over the top. Because if he's not going to push me over the top, I'm not only looking for right now winning, I'm looking for the next 3 years of winning. I don't want Cortland Sutton until he's 32 years old. Not from the Cowboys. He turns 30 during the season. And then he'd be 32. No thanks. No thanks for me. I'm getting these rookies, man. I got to get these rookies because I get to control them for 7 years, and I'm getting them way cheaper than Cortland Sutton. Way cheaper. Yes, sir, C-Base. He said, I got to say, it's so refreshing to see my fellow sisters to know what they're talking about when it comes to football as opposed to Joy Taylor. Oh, yeah. Man, the ladies on this channel, bro, they run circles around Joy Taylor. They would run circles around her when it comes to football. For sure. Paris Campbell, hey, ice cold. We're going to see what he is. We're going to see what he is. But the Cowboys, they got an opportunity. They got an opportunity to go out here and get one of these receivers. And again, Mirko, we're going to see what he is. We're going to see what Jonathan Mingo is too. We are. But I just think the Cowboys in the perfect position. You already have Paris Campbell, Jonathan Mingo, Ryan Flournoy. You could literally cut Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks and be fine. Now just go in and say, okay, we're going to get on the front end. We're going to get Ted, Emeka, get one of the top 4 wide receivers. And then on the back end, maybe you can still get Dante Thornton. I mean, it's going to be crazy to me if he makes it back there. But again, Hector, this is where I am too. This is what I picked the other night. 3rd round cornerback. I think we're going to do another mock draft before we get off here. Chanel, 100% facts. Dak's flaws when he sees his receiver get upset in the playoffs, he will force the ball to said receiver just because the receiver is pouting. Yes, I'm talking about CD. This is one of his main problems. He forced the ball to CD Lamb, even in the Green Bay game. And then it's funny to me. He'll force the ball to CD Lamb. But when the interception comes, isn't it strange, Chanel? CD Lamb don't get the blame. Dak Prescott does. Dak got to be smarter this year. Hey, Ice Cold, I'm going to check out Savion Williams. I really am going to check out Savion Williams. I think tomorrow when I come back, we're going to have some film on Savion Williams. I didn't realize he was 6'5". I got to go check him out. Yeah, Matthew Golden, Mike McCain. That's the only knock on him to me. Now, that's not a knock as it applies to other teams. I'm with you. 5'11". Yes, sir. I would take Thornton over him. I probably would take Thornton over him. I would. Dak is a top receiver. Once Dak has a running game, there is no other quarterback other than Mahomes that can have the stats he does. Not my words. You can Google it. We already had it on here, Chanel. Colin Cowherd said it. He said Dak Prescott with a run game is Patrick Mahomes. My girl Niecy, what's going on with you? Ty Church, I've been hearing the same thing. They love Ted. I'm not going to be mad if they get him. But if they can't get him, I also want them to say, hey, we ain't got him, we'll get a Mecca. D. Webb said trade back and get Matthew Golden. Yeah, could trade back and get Thornton. I think they're going to try to go. I think what they're going to try to do, D. Webb, I do think the Cowboys, I noticed that Jerry said Jonathan Mingo is a Dak-friendly wide receiver. Oh, bigger, taller, catch radius. He's talking about those type of wide receivers. So Golden, he would be a surprise. Ted has just upgraded Michael Gallup. Bucks all of those receivers skills you mentioned, G. Hey, yeah, you said that before. But hey, they like that boy Michael Gallup. They like Michael Gallup. Yeah, Ted McMillan, if he falls to us, yeah, and I think that may be one of the things they may try to pull off too if he falls to him. He said, I think Ted is the only actual true receiver out there. This is Mike McCain. He said he is absolutely the only receiver that I would take at the 12 spot or in the first round at all for that matter. Anybody else can be gotten in the second. I'm going to tell you this. I don't think neither one of these guys are going to be able to be gotten in the second. Because when you look at Tankatron, Mike McCain, Tankathon, I'm sorry. Let's look at Tankathon. And when you look at their mock draft, if I'm not mistaken, 3 of those 4 are going in the first round. They got Ted McMillan. Let me show y'all this on the screen. They got Ted at number 8. I think Luther Burden III is the second. Okay, they got Matthew Golden, second wide receiver off the board, which I thought there was another one. Let me make sure I didn't miss it. They got Matthew Golden as the second wide receiver off the board. So this has changed. because they did have a Mecca in the first round, and they had Luther Burden III in the first round. So right now, they only got 2 wide receivers in the first round. Yep, they got 2 wide receivers in the first round. So you could be, okay. Top of the second round, Emeka Ibuka. So this is the problem. Top of the second round, Emeka Ibuka. Second round, Luther Burden III. So you automatically lose those top 4 receivers. Before, if the Dallas Cowboys pass on any of those receivers in the first round, they will not get them in the second round. Because by the time the Cowboys come back around, by the time the Cowboys come back around at 44, which this ain't making me mad because this is the running back I do want the Cowboys to get, is I do want them to get Travion Henderson. But if they don't get those, if they pass in the first round on a wide receiver, they will not be able to get Ted or Luther Burden III. And by the time they get back around to them at 44, they'll miss out on the other one. So I want the Cowboys to get one of those top 4 wide receivers. So let's move on to the final topic, and then we'll do a couple other things here.
Yeah! Here we go!
So it has come to my attention. Michael Gallup signs with the Washington Commanders. This is crazy to me. This is crazy to me. Because I think Michael Gallup had already had 1 visit, and then the Commanders signed him on the second visit. He must be looking pretty good, is all I can figure. It says Gallup has signed with the Washington Commanders, the team announced Thursday. Gallup spent his first 6 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys, peaking in 2019 with 1,107 yards, 6 touchdown season before injuries. ACL tear in 2021 hampered him in subsequent campaigns. He left Dallas in 2024 for Las Vegas, signing a 1-year deal with the Raiders before abruptly, retiring last summer. As Gallup explained Thursday, he said the change was too overwhelming for him, prompting him to walk away from the game. He says, I just think that the way I was let go from being in some place for so long and then jumping right into another team and not being able to process because I never went through that before. Gallup said it's his introductory news conference, trying to figure out how to process that and everything. I think it was just fast for me and I wasn't there yet. So let's give this the real translation. I don't think Michael Gallup was ever healthy when he came back. And this is one of the things that I kind of question about the Cowboys. Sometimes I wonder if the Cowboys are pressuring players to come back and play hurt. And maybe this is one of the reasons why we keep seeing problems with Trayvon Diggs. Maybe that's why we keep seeing problems with him. And I think they brought Gallup. I thought Gallup came back way too fast. And I don't think he trusted the knee. And then I think the knee started kind of messing up on him a little bit. And Michael Gallup was never the same. Because the one thing about Michael Gallup's game, let's think about what he was. He was a jump ball guy. And he wasn't the Dez Bryant type of jump ball guy. He didn't have that kind of body that is the jump ball type of body. And so Michael Gallup, I don't think he was ever quite healthy with the Cowboys. And so I think one of the main reasons why that joker wound up leaving was I don't think he was healthy. And I think he kind of knew that he was going to be on the same path with the Raiders, coming in, expectations too high, and his leg wasn't quite ready. Because to me, man, this sounds like one of those DeMarcus Lawrence things. What are you talking about? You had never went through what? Getting let go? Okay, that's understandable, but people do that all the time. What do we think free agency is about? People let go of free agents all the time, and they just go play on another team, and they do well. So this was too traumatizing, or I don't want it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why would this be that type of process that's like working on your mind like that. Now, I'm not him. I'm just saying. I just think this is kind of like a crazy explanation. I do. Angie, You ain't crazy. She said, call me ignorant. You're not ignorant. She said, I'm not a fan of Tet. She said, I want Savion or Luther. She said, I guess I purposely do the opposite of fans because I never want Jiddy. Angie, you know what? Let me tell you what this tells me when you say these two players right here. When you talk about these two players right here, Savion and Luther, I think you're talking about two wide receivers that everyone would probably agree they seem like they got some dog in them. And that's probably why you're attracted to them. Ted McMillan, I like Ted McMillan. I've watched some film on him. I like him. Tomorrow we're gonna come back and talk about Savion and Luther. That we are for sure gonna talk about Savion and Luther. And we're gonna look at some film on them. They seem like the kind of receivers to me that got dog in them. That's probably why you're attracted to them. Ted McMillan, I think he kind of comes off like a finesse wide receiver. To me, which is what CeeDee Lamb is. Now, I'm not mad at CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is a finesse receiver. So what you're looking for in your second receiver is you want that dirty, grimy wide receiver that gets in there, get those slants, goes across the middle, get those out routes, break tackles, blocks really well, get in people's faces. You're looking for the dog. Ted don't strike you as the dog. Luther probably strikes you more as a dog, and Savion probably strikes you more as a dog. Tell me if I'm correct. Chanel is saying that Ted is not a true number one receiver. He said college receivers like Ted will see that college is different than the NFL. Cornerbacks and safeties over the top. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true right there. Big May said he wants Higgins. Okay. Yeah, he said he wants Higgins. Let's see here. Let me go down a little bit further. Angie, you tell me what you think. But that boy, those two wide receivers to me that you're talking about, they definitely seem to be pretty nasty. They seem like some nasty wide receivers. And that's probably why, and I think there's some other people they've been talking about Savion. Let me go back just a little bit. But again, I think that's why a lot of people are talking about Savion Williams. And like I said, I'm going to go back and I want to bring up some stuff on him and see and just look at some tape on him tomorrow. Robert said towards the end of the season, you couldn't find Mingo in the daytime with a flashlight. Now, if you listen to what was being said, Robert, by Bobby Belt, this was actually one of the issues that Jerry had with Mike McCarthy because he said that Mike McCarthy wouldn't work Mingo in. So we'll see how that works. Curtis Temple, I would love to have Horn Jr. For the Cowboys in the 5th round. Ice Cold Cowboy, he said Flo and Mingo duo will be relevant this season. Hey, man, they got the potential. Both of them. Teams are looking for wide receivers, even if these draft specialists don't put them in the 1st round. That too, Pete. That part too. Some of these guys are going to be, I'm just telling you, for me, the one receiver to me that's going to be a breakout superstar in this league is going to be Dante Thornton. I'm sorry, if a team gets Dante Thornton in the 4th or 5th round, man, you just got the steal. You just got one of the steals of the draft. You just got one of the deals of the draft. Dwayne, you talk about the Michael Gallup thing? Curtis Temple said trash. Yeah, that boy Michael Gallup done defected and went to the Commanders. But let me tell you something about Dan Quinn, though. Man, Dan Quinn is a shrewd, petty operator. Man, Dan Quinn could just want Michael Gallup for the fact that the Cowboys are paying that joker and they got him on a dirt cheap deal. We're going to see, though, because it seemed like from what I saw, the first team turned him down. Oh, hey, Azteca, you said call him to watch the Cowboys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's the enemy now. Gallup outsmarted Jerry. I expected for that. Hey, Angie, he got Jerry. He got Jerry Payne and playing for the Washington Commanders. Man, it's crazy. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure, Garland. He probably needs, I was about to say he needs those bigger receivers. Yeah. Dante Thornton Jr. will be their pick. Boy, let me tell you, I'm not going to be crying about it if they get Dante Thornton, because, Garland, they can trade back and get Dante Thornton for sure. They can trade back and get him. Easy. And get them a third or a fourth. The dude, what's up? He said, if I was Gallup, I would have gone to Washington too. Kingsbury would utilize him to his max if Gallup can still go. Well, I can tell you this, dude. Obviously, he can do something because he had to do a tryout, and they got him. They got him, so he must be doing. He must be able to play. That's all I can tell you. He must be able to play. That's all I can tell you. So we're gonna see. But I'm glad the Cowboys. Like I said, I want the Cowboys to keep waiting and do something different. Front office, he said trade extra second, draft Hampton first, Jaden Higgins in the second, Powell Ryland edge, Jordan Phillips defensive tackle, Amari Godwell defensive tackle in the fourth. Too much hype on the current first round. Told you about Thornton. Front office, man, Dante Thornton, boy. Man, you look at tape on Dante Thornton, that dude jump off the TV. Yeah, Thornton, I didn't realize he was so big. I didn't realize he was 6'5". Get right or get left, boy. You better stop saying that. Get right or get left. Savion can't catch. He said Savion can't catch. Angie said, yes, I love dogs. That's why I think you're probably attracted to them. They're more of them dogs. They definitely more of them dogs. We're gonna look at them tomorrow. Get right or get left. He said that boy Savion got them iffy hands. Freddie Morales, what's up in here, man? Good to see you. Angie said, G, you hit it on the nail for me. Thank you. Yeah, they look like them dogs, Angie. And especially that boy Luther Burden III. So we're going to look at some stuff on him. We'll look at some stuff on him and Savion tomorrow for sure. Calvin Jefferson. I do think they probably need to be looking for exceptional speed outside, though. I'm with you. They need speed on both sides of the ball. And I think that's one of the reasons why they went and got, what's his name, Paris Campbell. I think this is one of the reasons why they went and got him. I do. I think this is why they went and got him. The dude said, I don't trust anything coming out of Bobby Bell's mouth. Boy, Bobby Bell got a bad rap with some of y'all, don't he? He said, I don't trust nothing coming out of Bobby Bell's mouth. Boy, yeah, get right or get left. You on to something right there. Dak got him paid. Dak got Cedric Wilson. Wasn't it Cedric Wilson Dak got paid too? Noah Brown, Dak got paid. Man, Dak be getting people paid, man. People don't even realize it. Hey, Pete, you're not supposed to be able to run a 4.3 at 6'5". Thornton is going to be a problem. Yeah, man. He's going to be a real problem. For real. Hey, Pete, I'm telling you, we're going to wake up in 3 years. He's going to be one of the biggest wide receivers in the league. And he's going to get a monster contract. He mess around and go to the right team, Thornton going to be a problem, man. Angie, yeah, he really took the full form of ops. Yeah, that dude be trying to get everybody. Everybody the Cowboys let go, he tried to get them. Okay, Angie said, please draft safety Andrew Makuba. I'm sick of Hooker and don't know. Oh, yeah. I think both of them are done. I think both of them are done. I think the Cowboys will get a safety because it's sounding like Israel is going to be moved to the slot. I'm not going to be shocked if they get a safety. I'm still banking on them bringing in Shiloh Sanders. Johnny Blue said, when it comes to Dan Quinn, I don't know if shrewd is another word for low rent, but that's what I think of when I think Dan Quinn. He's a little bit off. I heard Micah Parsons call him Uncle Dan. Yeah, he love him some Dan Quinn. Get right. He said, I want dogs too, especially ones that can fetch. Savion don't fetch very well. Man, I can't wait to look at tape on this dude, man. You talk about this man can't catch. So Dante is like Savion, but can actually catch is what everyone is saying in the chat. Hey, I tell you this. Y'all tell me in the chat, Dante or Savion. From everything, I hadn't seen Savion. I got a reserved judgment. But I'm telling you, man, Dante Thornton Jr. is nasty. He is. 70s fan, he said, get T. McMillan in the first round, then best player available in the second, preferably a running back. They have to get a running back in the second. They absolutely have to get a running back in the second. All right, let's see something here. See if we can run through our draft simulator again. I don't know if any of y'all been playing with this draft simulator, but it's pretty cool because I like it because it's free. I definitely like this one because it's free. Again, if y'all have not seen this, it's pretty cool too. This is the draft simulator. Draft simulator. Let's look at this again. We looked at it the other day. It's pretty easy to do from what I could tell. Everything I've seen. Only problem is I think one of the ads finally crashed it last night before we could complete it. We'll probably do a speed round on this go round though. So you just basically select your team for anybody who hasn't seen it. All the other things you can kind of leave. We'll pick fast on the speed of the picks tonight. Standard. And we'll just call this number 2. Let's kind of just run through real quick before I get out of here. Enter the draft room. And then all you have to do, says the draft is starting soon, but in actuality, you the one to start the draft. Let's go. Let's see who they got this year. Today. All right, so here we are again. So this is what they have up here. Ashton Jeanty. I do believe that if Ashton Jeanty is available in the first round, it's probably a no-brainer. I don't see no way the Cowboys don't get Ashton Jeanty. But again, there is Kelvin Banks up here. I've seen some of y'all talk about Kelvin Banks. Matthew Golden is at 21st. He's available. Those are the 3 suggestions it looks like they have up. And let's kind of go by position. You can kind of go by position and get a real good outlook. Matthew Golden, Emeka is there. Luther Burden III is there. So it looks like, according to them, Ted McMillan is gone, according to them. Yeah, Ted McMillan went at number 9. So Ted McMillan is gone, according to them. So if the first round is a wide receiver, the options would be Matthew Golden, Emeka, Luther Burden III, and of course Dante Thornton is back there. Now, again, I do believe there is no way. I do not believe there is any way the Cowboys pass on Ashton Jeanty. Y'all tell me what you think in the chat. I don't think there's any way the Cowboys pass. I do not think the Cowboys are going to pass on Ashton Jeanty if he's there. I will be shocked if the Cowboys pass on Ashton Jeanty. Y'all tell me what you think. Because we can't get Tet tonight. But what do y'all think? Ashton Jeanty at this spot. Ice Cold. He said, I'm trading back a few slots to add a 4th round or even a 3rd and take Hampton in the middle round in the 1st. I'll have to do some more studying on this to see about the trade back, because I'm sure you probably can. At least I would assume. Yeah, I see a trade here. I'll work on that tonight. I don't want to crash it without doing it. But just on the face of everything, if Ashton Jeanty is there, I do not think the Cowboys are pass. So tonight we'll take Ashton Jeanty again. There is no way the Cowboys are passing on Ashton Jeanty. All right. So now we'll reject these tonight. But there is a trade offer on the table from the Denver Broncos. They would be offering us a second, 51st at the second, 85th in the 3rd, round 4, the 2026 round 4, 2026 round 7. The reality is the Cowboys would probably take that, but we're not going to do it for tonight for time's sake. Now, at number 44, I say for me, the Cowboys have got to solve the issue of wide receiver and running back off the top. So if I want to get Ashton Jeanty off the top, then now I am getting my wide receivers. So I'm going to the wide receivers. So I got Trey Harris, and I already know who I'm going for. I'm going for Dante Thornton. based on this list right here, because again, I already know this, and this is going to be true. If the Cowboys pass on a wide receiver in the first round, they will not be able to circle the block and get one of those top 4 receivers. They're not going to be able to circle the block and get one of those top 4 receivers. Now, I do think, and tonight, let's take this chance. Let's just say, because this is just for fun. So, I do say the Cowboys could really do with a good edge rusher or cornerback. The most pressing need between cornerback and edge rusher, it's cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if I got Ashton Jeanty in the first round, I know that I'm probably going to try to get Dante Thornton, but maybe I can take a chance one more round and get Dante Thornton. Let's see. Let's see what let's see what happens if we pick the cornerback. So we're gonna go to cornerback. So the cornerbacks we have available: Strong, Burke, Parrish, Quincy, Noah Williams. Now, some of y'all, again, y'all watch this college football stuff way more than I do. Who are we picking at the cornerback position? Are we going right off the top and get Dorian Strong? Does anybody see Dorian Strong wait, hold on, let's go back. Okay, so we got Maxwell Hairston, Benjamin Morrison, Dorian Strong, Denzel Burke, Jacob Parrish, Quincy Riley. What are y'all thinking on these cornerbacks? Because the Cowboys, because the wide receivers that I saw, those are not the ones that I'm wanting, so I'm going cornerback. I am absolutely going cornerback. Or maybe I go edge rusher. Y'all tell me what you think. Cornerback or edge rusher? Yeah, we like our guys. Jeanty, no doubt. Jeanty, no doubt, going to be a game changer. Problem is, I just don't think he's going to be there for us. I just don't think he's going to be there for us. But again, we can either go cornerback or we could go ahead and get Dante Thornton, but I would think that Dante Thornton would probably be there in the third. So if we want an edge rusher or a defensive tackle or a cornerback, we can go ahead and get him. So I saw in the chat, is this Noah Williams that y'all are either saying yay or nay on? D-Web. All right. I think the app might have crashed us. I think we got our resume on. So let's continue on. Let's see here. All right, so we got Maxwell Hairston. All right, so we're going to reject those. And then we'll take Dante Thornton in the third. All right, now the crazy thing is here, when you look at what they're saying about Thornton, they actually have a D+ grade on Dante Thornton. That is crazy work. They have a D+ grade on Dante Thornton. Now, again, I'm just telling y'all what I'm doing in the 5th round. I have my mind set on the Cowboys doing this. The Cowboys, to me, should get 2 running backs. And I think they should get that next running back in the 5th round. And I already know the running back I'm getting. Well, let me see. Hold on a second. Okay, so if this was absolutely true, Bashul Tootin and Damian Martinez is back here. I already know who I'm getting. I don't even have to look. I was trying to see if Marcus Yarns was in here anywhere, but I don't see him. I already know who I'm going for right here. I would get Bashul Tootin if I was the Cowboys with my first pick in the 5th round if he's still there. That is actually who I am getting. All right. So that leaves us. If I'm the Cowboys in the 5th round, I have a cornerback, wide receiver, and 2 running backs. Now, I want to go defensive tackle or I want to go edge. And I'm just gonna pick both of these in the 5th. I would literally do both of these in the 5th. All right, so we got Tyler Barron, Jod Joyner, Antoine Ryland, Barron Sorrell, Kamen Rucker, Q Robinson, Tyler Batty, and y'all can see the list. Anybody jump out at you other than these top 5 picks? But this is what would be left on the field. What do y'all think? Tyler Barron, Jod Joyner, or Ryland? What are you thinking? D Webb, he said we need the best player available, not favorites. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, 5th round, ice cold, this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing best player available based on what I think we might need. I'm getting me another running back. Oh, no. We like our guys. I do not like Scattybo. I do not like him. Yes, sir. And hey, Pete, this is exactly what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get speed. That's exactly what I'm trying to get. Okay, somebody said go for Virginia Tech, Antoine Ryland. So that's who I'm going with. I got Antoine Ryland. Tonight I'm just rejecting trades again. Now I got my edge. Now I want me another defensive tackle. If I'm the Cowboys, I want me another defensive tackle. This is kind of where my mindset is. I want me a defensive tackle. All right. Anybody jump out? I do think some people were talking about Ty Hamilton. But if I'm the Cowboys, I am definitely going in that 5th round. I'm going to get me a running back. I'm going to get me another edge rusher, start developing him, and then I want me a defensive tackle. Front office, he said Jordan Phillips is already gone. Yeah, front office, he's already gone. Yeah, Jordan Phillips is out of there, man. Yeah, that boy Jordan Phillips is out of there. He been gone. Yeah, he been gone. Scattybo for me is more of a gadget guy, right, guys? That's why for me, I couldn't pick him. He to me, he's a luxury pick. I see the Denver Broncos immediately getting him. All right, I'm going Elijah Roberts, Pete said. All right. So now at 204, I got 4 picks left. If I'm the Cowboys at 204, I want a linebacker. So I'm going to see who's the best available linebacker left. All right, we got Kobe King, Jack Kaiser, Cody Simmons, Jay Higgins. Did I hear somebody mention Jay Higgins earlier? Or Shamar James? And then we got these other ones, Cody Lindbergh, Kareem Reed, Chandler Martin, and Jalen Walker. Where are y'all going at linebacker? Yeah, Marcus Jones was gone on me. That's what I was looking for. All right, front office. He said, let's see. Now, I'm in linebacker now. I see Kobe King, Jack Kaiser, Cody Simmons, Shamar. Let me see. I don't see Jackson Woodard. Maybe that's a different position. I know y'all a little bit behind on me. Iceberg Slim, what's going on? I like that name. He said DJ Gibbons. Let's see. I don't see him. I'm probably a little bit ahead of y'all. So I'm going to give you a little time to catch up. I'm going linebacker. I'm going linebacker on this. Pete said Simon. Let's see here. Cody Simon, Ohio State. Gotcha. All right. So now I got linebacker, I got defensive line, I got edge. Now I'm going to go and try to get me another wide receiver, another cornerback. Well, hold on. Let's go safety. I remember us mentioning safety, so we probably need another safety. So I'm going to go safety and then probably cornerback and then O-line. Because we have all these other wide receivers already in the camp, I would have went 2 wide receivers, but if I get Dante Thornton is going to have to be my man. All right, so at safety, we got Dante Trader, Craig Woodson, Hunter Waller, and Kyton Crawford. Who y'all got in this? I got Mac Williams. Oh, here he is. I got to get this just for fun. I got to get Shiloh Sanders in, guys. Tell me your thoughts on Shiloh Sanders. I gotta get Shiloh Sanders. I gotta get Shiloh Sanders, man. I do believe the Cowboys have got to get Shiloh Sanders. Shiloh Sanders could possibly be. Shiloh Sanders, to me, he's got enough speed. Shiloh Sanders could probably convert to cornerback in this league. He could probably convert early on to a nickel cornerback. If I'm the Cowboys, this is a Jerry Jones type pick. I would have to bring in, I got to bring in my man Shiloh Sanders. Let me see if y'all got anybody else down here. I'll bring in another player, but if I just couldn't see Jerry. If he's wanting a safety, I guarantee you he's getting Shiloh Sanders. Especially if you're talking, it looks like this is way down there in the 6th. Yeah, Pete, I'm giving Shiloh a chance, man. I am. I would give Shiloh Sanders a chance because I'm looking at Shiloh as, even if he's not my safety, I'm going to bring him in and say, maybe you could play a combination of nickel, corner, or safety. And I would develop Shiloh. I'm telling you, Shiloh is he's a very raw talent. But I like Shiloh Sanders. If I'm the Cowboys, I would bring in a cornerback. You know what? Hold on a second. Is there one of these tight ends that y'all think that could challenge Schoonmaker or Ferguson? I know a lot of people aren't talking about tight end for the Cowboys, but I really think the Cowboys back in the later rounds, maybe they'll consider a tight end. Bring in somebody that can push these guys, and maybe you can find you a diamond in the rough. I would really consider a tight end if I was the Cowboys. I would. Let me take some of y'all's suggestions here. Pete said, talk about insane production. Yes, sir. 2 offensive players. Okay, so you want to go offense again. If I went back offense, I'm going wide receiver. So let's see what's on the board. I can tell you right now with I can already tell you who I'm going to get. Y'all give me some suggestions, but I can tell you right now who jumped out at me. This dude right here, this Jimmy Horn Jr. dude is going to be a dog in this league, I believe. I believe Jimmy Horn Jr. going to be a dog. It'll be crazy if he even goes undrafted. But Jimmy, if you could get Jimmy back in the 6th or the 7th, I think I'll pick Jimmy. So we got a wide receiver. So these last pick. Hey, D-Webb, this last pick, I was just about to say. This last pick, D-Webb, I think I'm going to go O-line. this last pick, I think I'm going to go O-line on us. Let's see. They got offensive tackle here. Yeah, I think I may go O-line just on this one pick right here. Maybe I'll pick one of these guys here. Now, their suggestion is Brandon Crenshaw Dixon. Y'all tell me where you at. Hey, Polo. Let me tell you, man, that boy Jimmy is crazy with it. He is crazy. D-Webb, he said Kobe Hudson. Tell me what's up on the O-line. Oh, I forgot. You're right. Shell shot. I forgot. Let me go quarterback. That's what I'll do. Yep. You're right, D-Web. I didn't even go online on us. I didn't even do online. So we'll do that on the next one. Okay, quarterback. Who do we have left? We got Brady Cook from Missouri, Taylor Elgersma, Graham Mertz, Garrett Green, Tommy Millett, DJ Hudson Card, Will Rogers. You know, it's kind of funny. I was thinking that the kid, so it looks like the kid from Alabama is well gone. So who would be at the back of the draft as a quarterback that you would want to bring in as a developmental quarterback? Because, man, if you're talking about back here in the 7th, which don't mean that they're not going to be good, but it looks like they have as their suggestion, they have Brady Cook. Y'all tell me what you think on these quarterbacks. Let's see. That 70s fan said get a defensive tackle. Yeah, what do you think about Elijah Roberts? He on that D-line for us. Hey, I'm telling you, man, it's some sleeper tight ends. I looked at some Phil months. Hey, let me tell you, Angie, I know some people not in this group, but boy, let me tell you, I would love for the Cowboys to get them another doggone, I would love for the Cowboys to bring in another tight end. We like our guys. Okay, you said Cartwheel Rogers. Is that a quarterback? Okay, I don't see him. I see Will Rogers from Washington, but I don't see Cartwheel Rogers. All right, Pete said to get Brady Cook. Okay, I got you. That boy D. Webb, he said, we going to the supermarket, not to the Super Bowl with these picks. Okay, this will just be our first one. I mean, this is actually our second one. Yeah, this just, he said we're going to the supermarket. Okay, let's see. Let's just pick Brady Cook. All right. Let me save this. Hey, I can tell you this, man. All right, and just for, if you look at this, hey, man, this draft right here, this draft wouldn't be too bad for the Cowboys. I mean, it really wouldn't. This wouldn't be too bad for the Cowboys. Running back, got your cornerback, you got your 2 running backs, you got your edge rusher. You got Elijah D-line, Cody Simmons, linebacker, Shiloh Sanders, safety, Jimmy Horton, Brady Cook. I wonder what this would be rated as. All right, let me save this one. All right, let me save this one right here. Man, I'm telling you, though, this one right here, probably not complete enough. Let me see. This is more of an offensive. More of an offensive type of thing. But I'm gonna save it. This will be just one of the first ones. We'll post this one tonight. But again, y'all check my email address out, and I want you guys to go on this and practice this also. I would be very interested in what y'all would do, and I'd like to post some of y'all's up here tomorrow. I would definitely like to put some of y'all's up here for tomorrow. But hey, I can tell you this. Most of us right now, I'm just telling you right now, if this happened on draft day, and I forgot to even give if we got to 174 and this was our actual draft, I think a lot of people would be pretty happy because I think Ashton Genty would just be it for a lot of people. I'm not sure if a lot of people would like I'm not sure if a lot of people would like Maxwell Harrison. But I guess he would be a good cornerback for us. I think there would be a lot of people who would absolutely love Dante Thornton. And I think people would be ecstatic if we got both Genty and Bashua Tootin. I mean, I know I would. I would be going crazy if the Cowboys got Bashua Tootin and Ashton Genty. The run game about to be on steroids. The run game going to be on steroids. We got us a big, fast wide receiver that can take the top off the defense. We'd be exactly where we want to be. Antoine Powell, we'd have us another edge rusher to work in. Elijah Roberts, we'd have us another guy on the line to work in. And all these other players, they would. Now, Jimmy Horn Jr., now Jimmy going to play. Jimmy going to play. The Cowboys bring in Jimmy Horn, he going to play. And he going to probably be a superstar. Now, Jimmy, if we were to get Jimmy Horn Jr., he could possibly, and I know we might not like this, Jimmy would probably take some time from Kevontae Turpin. He's one of those type of players. He is definitely one of those gadget guys. And so, hey, my man D-Webb gave me a B-. B-Webb said, I'm at the supermarket. He said, I'm at the supermarket rather than the Super Bowl. All right, D-Webb, you sent one to my email. Okay, let me look real quick. All right, let me see if I can pull up D-Webbs. I was actually looking for something today. I didn't see it. Let me see. All right, D-Webb, what is it up under as far as your email address? You sent it to the Let's Talk Cowboys? I want to pull yours up real quick if I could. All right, just making sure. Okay, so I don't see it. All right, D-Webb, let me know what you sent it up under because I don't see it. I want to pull it up if I could. Okay, Pete said he locked out. Okay, y'all make sure y'all send me some because I'm going to put those up. I definitely want to put those up tomorrow. We love our guys. Make sure you put one up. I'd like to see yours. I'd like to see Chanel, Ice Cold Cowboy, put one up. Yeah, Mozzie was more like his father, Mark. Okay, he was more like his father, Mark Henry. I remember that. We like our guys. He said, now if we could get Ted if Genty ain't there, and Jimmy Horn Jr. would be a good draft, or even Savion or Horn. Yeah, we're going to go a different direction on the next go-round. I think we're going to experiment and see what it would look like. See what it looked like if we went O-line or cornerback or something first. Bill said maybe supermarket, but everything organic. hey, I think we would be cooking Bills on offense for sure. I really think we would be cooking on that offense for sure. All right, guys. Yep. We're going to come back. We'll be back tomorrow. Friday, man. My day is so much freer on Fridays, man. So we're going to have a ball tomorrow. We will definitely we're going to have some fun with some draft stuff again. And we're going to look at some film. We're going to do film. We're going to do the draft. And then we'll be looking at any other Cowboys news. I mean, we might even see tomorrow Micah Parsons sign. Won't that be great? Then we can put the whole Micah Parsons conversations behind us. And then let them start working out these things inside the building. And then get ready to have a great team. Man, y'all dropping some dimes and some bombs on this stuff about these family members. Yes, sir, Johnny Blue. I always appreciate you. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. Sorry, we had a glitch and went out just for a moment. It might have been the draft thing that crashed. This is the second time I noticed. The first time we did the draft thing, it crashed. Second time we did the draft thing, my app crashed. So, again, but that's a pretty good little thing. Next month, I'm going to be upgrading us. I'm going to be upgrading us with a couple of more football tools. I'm going to be upgrading us with Pro Football Focus. And I'm going to be upgrading us also with an app that I'm trying out. And I'm going to pass it on to you guys once I play with it and see if it works the way they say it do. Y'all might want to add this app to your own arsenal because it helps you to analyze film, marking it up, and stuff like that. So I'm going to be bringing that to the table for us also next month. Got a lot of good things coming, guys. It's going to be awesome. My man Wicked, what's going on? Late to the party. Yes, sir. Jail avoided. We knew you weren't going to jail, Wicked. To God be the glory. Yes, sir. Glad you didn't go to jail. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, my man Alex. Appreciate that super chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow, guys. Looking forward to it. Appreciate y'all rocking with me, Cowboys Nation. Y'all stay blessed. And until the next time, let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.